All right. All right. Is my mic working? Working hot. Okay. Don't forget to hit the like. Getting ready to get started. Oh, we already got a big crowd. Look at this. That's what happens when I started an hour later on Thursdays. Everybody's like, what the heck? Here I am. All right.
Like this, I'd probably feel 100% Moon River. Whew. Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
Dumps. They call them dumps. Big, massive dumps.
All right. Okay, wait. Let's start up. Let's get started. Hold on. Hi, welcome to the show, everybody. What's going on? Oh, yes, the 100K. Please help us reach that goal. I thought we were even moving slower than we actually are. And we hit 62 when I was like, can't wait to hit 62. Now we're on our way to 63. Please do what you can. Just hit that subscribe, especially if you see these clips. Share the clips out. That also helps immensely. It's a good thing to do. Yes, and there's not enough popcorn, Peter and Brett. And absolutely. What's happening, Trucker John? Good to see you. Janice, I missed everybody's saying something and he's saying thank you. Okay, thank you. Oh, I'm glad you like the jacket. I'm also glad that my camera is of a higher quality now, so you can actually see that it's a jacket, that it's got some texture as opposed to just a opaque black blob, which is what the quality of camera work that I was having for a little while. I'm working on it. I want you to know I'm working on it. Sorry, there was breaking news. Breaking. Was this? 177 congressional Republicans, including Josh Hawley, just submitted an amicus brief to the Supreme Court in support of Donald being on the ballot. We need to beat every GOP coward in 2024. Yeah, that's fine. They could. It doesn't matter. They could hold the vote. There is a remedy already available. That's the key you guys need to learn, and what the Republicans need to learn. Oh, thanks. I just literally I trimmed some of my the split ends on my hair, and therefore it won't go back fully into a ponytail, so some of it's draping, and I don't even know if this is. I let it just hang down and like, what's going on? I don't even know. But anyways, I just didn't feel like hitting it with a bunch of hairspray. I just didn't feel like it. Come on. Okay, Sexy Liberal this Saturday will not be streamed because the cost of doing it in San Francisco is too much. If I can set up a 360 camera on stage and record the whole show, I will. That's my, okay. But, yeah, so there you go. Anyways, or at the very least, my set. I wouldn't borrow anybody else's set and post it without their, their stuff. Anyways, so, yeah, lots of stuff. Okay, so where do we start? Okay, well, okay. First of all, we start by saying, hi, chat room, hello. There you are, hello, happy. Yeah, I stole Tara's, dude, really? No, because, well, I mean, no. Tara's hair is like, she's got a bob. She's got a couple of, never mind. We're not going to, people don't watch the morning show. They may not even know what the hell we're talking about. Hashtag Rip Portland. Anyways. Boy. Okay, so I was going to come back on and do Trump's speech, but he was 2.5 hours late, and by the time I got into that shit, it would have been too much. So I watched part of it, and rather than us actually we'll go through the whole fucking thing, because some people have pulled clips. I did a little bit of homework, and I went through and I made some notes. So these are, if I might, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my outrage thing was already firing. Why is outrageous already on? But probably because it's something outrageous happened. Yes, you're going, gee, it looks like Donald Trump is angry that he's shitting his pants right now. Well, yes. My hair's got the Steve Martin Little Shop of Horrors look to it. That's not a bad one. That's I'll take that. I'll take that. He's a handsome man. All right. Hunter Biden to testify behind closed doors. Wonder why they changed. Oh, because they're guaranteeing him well, first of all, they gave him a real subpoena after the impeachment had started. That was part of the balk. And then, of course, they're going to guarantee him a public hearing. So there you go. Anyways, it's no big deal. It won't fucking matter. It will not matter. It's like it's a bunch of shit. So, all right, I took a couple of I took a couple of notes. Work with me on this one. This is gonna be good. Hopefully, these are all right. The first one is him saying that DeSantis has dropped out. I don't know if you've seen this part, but DeSantis isn't gonna be on the ballot in Nevada or some shit, or I don't know. Nobody gives a fuck. But this is, and then, but he does. He says it. and it looks like he's really trying to fuck with DeSantis, and then he realizes it's a genuine fuck up. Watch.
In fact, I hear that we're up 100 points because Ron DeSanctimonious just dropped out of the race, and he's the only one that tried to challenge us. And he just dropped out of the race. He just announced it. They're dropping out.
All right, he seriously thinks that's real. This is not, people in the audience, either they think it's true because he just said it, or they think he's just fucking with the guy. This may be like the primary versus the caucus, because nobody's on, like, Trump's not on the primary ballot. Nobody is in Nevada because they use the caucus instead. The party uses the caucus and the state has a primary. It's just fucking stupid. But look, he's looking around and he can't figure out why all these people are cheering that much. Look at him. It's like, what? What?
Well, wait a minute. You might have missed. Oh, this can only happen. I meant when I say he dropped out of the race, he dropped out of the race in Nevada. No, I was wondering, and I sort of checked myself. I thought the applause was a little bit strong. No, he checked out. That's very funny.
It's not funny. It's just stupid. I for a moment I thought it was a dunk. I thought he was actually in command of his senses, and he said something that was true. But he was, in one case, and allowing that falsehood to sit so that he could fuck with people, and it was a game. Nah, he really just caught himself for real.
Glad I caught it, because they're going, we have breaking news. Ron DeSanctimonious. Maybe I should have left it that way. What the hell? It's going to happen anyway. We should have left it. That way the fake news would have been about four days early. That's all. No, that's fine. No, I just thought that the emotion was so great. I said, I know it's great. He just dropped out of Nevada, but it's not that big a deal. Football player, great football player.
Great football player. Please tell me, you have to cut to a dude. Hold on. Please, hold on. And they just cut to some dude standing in the crowd, and he's hold on. He's just waving back like this. It's one of his followers that has to wear a helmet because of a head injury. He's like, he's just, hold on. This is the whole.
Great, he just dropped out of Nevada, but it's not that big a deal. Football player, great football player.
What about me? I'm over here. They can't be two great football players. Oh shit.
No, he just dropped out of Nevada.
Who, the football player? The great football player just dropped out of Nevada? You've lost me entirely.
So he was the only one that challenged us there, and that meant, because we were up by, I think, 94, 95 points. It's not bad. And so now we've got 100% of Nevada. And then a lot of people think South Carolina is next, it's Nevada. And then we go to South Carolina, where we're leading Nikki, I think, by like 60 points. I mean, that tells you a lot.
Yeah, again, this is more of his regulars. And then he moves into standard bullshit. But let's, the next one is, I think some people have seen this one. This is, and by the way, he was like 2 hours late to this shit. Here you go.
That's a pretty cool thought, isn't it? That's a nickname in its own way.
Oh shit, yeah.
You know where it was? Iowa. It's called the nation. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas.
We have more liquid gold, oil and gas. This part, this is, I don't know if I think you guys have seen this, but.
More liquid gold. Well, I just met non-liquid gold.
I just met non-liquid gold. Look, some of you are under the impression that that sentence didn't make any sense. What the fuck is wrong with you?
You know where it was? Iowa.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
It's called corn.
I stood up. I looked in the bowl.
It's non-liquid. That's my.
Fuck me.
Okay, you have more non-liquid gold. They said, what is that? I said, corn. They said, we love that idea. You know, that's a pretty cool thought, isn't it?
No, non-liquid gold is often referred to as gold. Just gold. Gold is a solid at room temperature anyways. I mean, I suppose if we heated it up to nuclear levels, it would turn into a gas at some point. I'm sure there's a physicist in the crowd that could give us the exact temperature, but no, it's a stupid thought. It's fucking bananas is what it is.
That's a nickname in its own way, but we came up with a new couple of words for corn.
A new couple of words for corn. In case you get tired of, if you're not into the whole brevity thing, What an asshole.
Nikki Haley supported Rhino.
Just move on. Just drop it. Just keep going. Okay, so the next one is, this is a little fucked up. Okay, so this is just a couple seconds later. All right, I'll just let it play through. So his conversation, this is weird shit about Melania's mother, rest her soul.
Paul Ryan's 2011 plan to destroy Medicare, the same plan that led the Democrat ads, which was a disastrous ad, showing Republicans wheeling Granny off the cliff. Do you remember?
Okay. Fuck me. The fact that he goes from this thing about the wheeling Granny off the cliff, and Dems did, to Melania's mother because it's Barron's grandmother. That his brain, watch. This is terrible. This is fucking terrible.
Remember that? That was Paul Ryan throwing Granny off the cliff. We're not doing that. We're not taking care of our grannies like that. And speaking of grannies,
shit. Speaking of grannies, this just fucking, this is why this guy has never driven a car, because all he can do is like randomly grab the wheel and lurch it in another direction.
Tomorrow, I have a funeral for the mother who was a great woman.
For the mother who was a great woman. Fucking.
Of Melania, our First Lady. And
she was a great woman of Melania? And
a popular First Lady, former First Lady, First Lady. You could say, they're all saying, First Lady, First Lady. It's not First Lady, but a very popular First Lady.
Wait a minute. So these people are insisting that she's one of Joe Biden's sister wives? She's a former First Lady, stupid. Because if she's the current First Lady, she's fucking the dude who beat you from the basement.
And her mother was incredible. And I'm leaving from here, and I'm going to Florida. We're going to have a beautiful service for our beautiful, we say grandmother because Barron.
Because her name is difficult to think of?
Nobody took care of Barron. Nobody took care of a child better than she did. She loved Barron so much. And she fed him. She wanted only her food. And he turned out to be very tall. So she did a very good job with the food, I would say, but...
She did a very good job with the food. Does this man have any human connection?
But Barron loved her so much. He's having a hard time with that. Melania loved her so much. So we're going to have a beautiful funeral service for her tomorrow.
You don't, is it difficult to go, we loved her so much because you and your wife and your son constitutes a we, that you could say we loved her very much, and the whole family, like, why is this hard?
In Florida, in Palm Beach, Florida. A vote for Nikki Haley this Tuesday.
Yeah, and then just random. He says Palm Beach, Florida more than he says her
Funeral
name.
service for her tomorrow in Florida, in Palm Beach, Florida.
Okay, in case we need to go, because I would have just driven down to Florida and gone, wow, it's a big state. Where do we go?
A vote for Nikki Haley this Tuesday is a vote for Joe Biden. And
he just jumps back into the into the stump. Whew. Okay, now all right. The only other 2 points that because I was doing like basically a needle drop on this shit was he started talking about the wall, and he's having a real hard time. Either somebody's bringing it up or something about how the wall, that it's a slat fence, and that it's, it still digs at him, and you'll see.
on day one of my new administration, I will seal the border and I will shut down the invasion coming into our country. And that's what it is, just like a military invasion.
Yeah, if militaries had, complete families or unaccompanied minors. It's an invasion of unaccompanied minors. That would be the tipping point number between the normal number that tries to cross every year all the time and the bigger numbers that we've seen in the last few years is just people just kind of like throwing their kid into the United States like, fuck, they won't let me in, but go live.
3 years ago, we had the most secure border in United States history. Did you
Thanks, Joe Biden. Also, you mean because of COVID?
know that? We built 561 miles of border wall. They like to say, well, you didn't build. If there's a piece of wood laying on the ground that's 60 years old, and we put up a 30-foot high and 9 feet deep steel wall, just what the Border Patrol did. Brandon Judd, who's fantastic, just like they designed. They wanted it. I wanted to put up concrete plank. I know a lot about construction.
Construction. You know a lot about what? Hold on.
Like they designed. They wanted it. I wanted to put up concrete plank. I know a lot about construction.
Yeah, he knows a lot about construction. No, he doesn't. He's not an engineer. Most of the time he's picking like drapes and carpet. It's all nouveau riche bullshit. And secondarily, if in the old days, in certain areas where there was just a piece of rotten wood laying there, the reason there was a piece of rotten wood lying there is because nobody fucking crossed at that point, because they'd have to cross really rough terrain and deep water to get there. And you motherfuckers decided you wanted a giant wall there, so you had to build an access road on both sides of it. And now those areas of the border where people would never think to cross, they can be driven to the end of the wall and dropped off.
But it wouldn't have been as good, wouldn't have been as strong, and you need a view corridor to see who's on the other side,
Yeah, you need a view corridor so you can see who's on the other side. Why would that be? Why would you need to see who's on the other side? Tell us a little story, why don't you, about what happens if you're on the other side of a wall and you don't, that's 500 miles, and you are the most unlucky human being in the world. Talk about the wrong place at the wrong time.
It does help. They used to drop, we had certain areas where there was solid, you couldn't see. They would throw drugs over the wall, and it would be
one pill at a time?
like 100-pound sacks of drugs. And it would actually kill people. It would hit people on the other side of the wall.
What are the odds? Is that technically an overdose? Does that go in the overdose column? No, it didn't. What are you talking about? Yeah. And how did they fling the 100-pound bags over these opaque walls and land on people? Perhaps they were landing on the people who were trying to catch a 100-pound bag of drugs. Perhaps they should have sent stronger people down to be the catchers. Also, fuck you. What are you talking about?
Oh, can you believe it? This is what.
No, I don't believe it. No, I do not. That's just silly. That's fucking dumb.
What they did. But we built a tremendous amount. But if there was a piece of wood laying there rotted.
Yeah, this is the second time he's told the rotting piece of wood thing.
And terrible, or a couple of nails or anything.
Yeah, a watch an old Dukes Hazzard lunchbox.
They'd say, that's not a new wall, that's a renovation. No, it's a new wall. They'd throw the
By the way, no one called it a renovation. They don't, and he didn't, no one's, like, repair and reinforcement of a border wall or a border barrier at any point is not called a renovation. You didn't put a backsplash on it, you dumb motherfucker.
wood away. One guy would pick it up. It's dissolved. They wouldn't even do that. But we built tremendous, and that
And yet, weirdly enough, the border was, less people crossed it. Huh.
was great. We're going to put up another 200 miles because we needed more. After we did that, we needed more. They go like that. And
Yeah, they do. They go like that. What he means is the immigrants, they go like that. They flow like water around it. Now, why would they do that? Now, there used to be obviously barriers that were pretty substantial, and then at the end of it, they just wouldn't cross. Well, why was that? Well, because they would have had to climb along a steep hillside. But thanks to this dumb fuck, they flattened the area out so they could construct a wall, and now you can walk the length of it on the Mexican side.
we had certain areas that we left to get everything through.
Yeah. Listen to that one again. We had certain areas that we left where we could get everything through.
They go like that. And we had certain areas that we left to get everything through. And then we were going to seal it up. And then we had that
What do you mean everything through? What? Adrenochrome? Babies? What the fuck are you smuggling into the United States? Terrorism? Were you left that open on purpose and then you were going to seal it up? What were you waiting for? What the fuck are you talking about? You left those gaps on purpose so that you could get something? What? Oh, the construction gear that's on the Mexican side? Fuck you. Drive it to the port. How do I know where it came from? Check its ID. What are you talking about? It's just stupid.
expected result in the election. And then we heard that Biden wanted to have open borders. And he took the 200 miles, it was all built, ready
No, it wasn't.
to be installed. Would have taken 3 weeks. And they sold it, much of it, for 5 cents on the dollar. They sold it for scrap.
Well, in his defense, it had been sitting in the sun for a long time, and yeah, it's kind of broken down.
And that's the most expensive steel you can buy.
What?
We have rebar, concrete, and then wrapped in steel. Very expensive. It's exact. But they sold
That dude's like, yeah, concrete, rebar, wrap that in steel. It's like a fucking anti-immigrant fucking Snickers. You know what I mean? Like, get that concrete in there. That's like the nougat of freedom.
it for, I understand, 5 cents on the dollar. It's a really sad thing. And that's when I knew they really do want open borders. They actually do.
By the way, the stuff that was laying there was going to either be on private land, which they didn't have the right to, and they were going to lose all the suits, and everybody knew it. So that it was just sitting there, and the Biden administration was not going to seize private land and give more land to Mexico. Again, Donald Trump is the first president since the fucking Alamo, I think, to cede territory to Mexico, because where they wanted to build the wall and the size of the fucking thing meant that there was territory where they had to move it inland a little bit so it would stay upright. So we gave, 100 yards in a couple of areas to Mexico. Yeah, fuck it. You keep that part of America. We don't need it anymore. It's but he gave it away. He just fucking gave it away.
And nobody can explain why, but
I just did. And granted, he might think I'm a nobody, so, touche.
Mexico gave us 28,000 soldiers.
And we gave them land that's permanent. The soldiers will die, but the land will be there forever.
Millions of dollars, billions of dollars worth of, much more so. They talk about the wall Mexico's going to pay. Well, there's no mechanism
No, we didn't talk about it. You said that, fuckhead.
for that. But they paid much more with what they gave us on the soldiers, on the Remain in Mexico stuff, much more than if they had contributed to the construction costs, much more.
Nonsense. Okay. Now, the other one was where now he's gotten somebody in particular dropped out and endorsed his dumbass. Let's see if this is, back this up. And I appreciate his attention to detail about this young man that dropped out and endorsed.
What they're doing. Such a currency would give a federal government our.
Oh wait, okay, hold on. I missed this part because this is him coming out against CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, basically a crypto that's tied to the US dollar that's legit. So instead of having paper money, you could also use this. Now, we already have versions of that. We don't need it. We have a debiting system that exists already. They have a digital transfer token system that works between banks anyways. They tried this for a little bit. It's fucking stupid. The Fed tried it in case crypto became a thing to kind of balance worth against it. And if everything's going to go digital and nobody's going to take cash in a bunch of other places anymore, we got to have something that competes in other countries that use US currency. That's what it's really about. But so this is him telling the story about how dangerous the banking situation.
And tonight I'm also making another promise to protect Americans from government tyranny. As your president, I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. You know about that?
Ooh, do you know what this is? I don't know what this is. Ooh.
I didn't know you know so much.
Jesus Christ. It's like this whole...
They said, ooh.
Hey,
I'm very, well, New Hampshire, very smart people.
If I'd have said this in Iowa, those fucking hayseeds wouldn't have known shit about it.
Very current. You know what they're doing.
You guys are hip. It's a hip crowd. I got a great corkscrew.
Currency would give a federal government, our federal government, the absolute control over your money. They could take your money, you wouldn't even know it was gone.
I think if all your money disappeared, you'd know, right? You'd have to know, wouldn't you? At some point, when maybe you're at a restaurant or trying to buy an airplane ticket. All your money's just gone and you wouldn't even know it? That's interesting. This is so fucking stupid.
This would be a dangerous threat to freedom, and I will stop it from coming.
How? Please, explain what you think it is. Because if he does, somebody's going to ask him about it. Maybe, I don't know, approaches him, and one of the sons is going to go, it's like crypto, it's like government crypto, and he's going to go, it's like government crypto. He'll just repeat that, and they'll go, wow, he's so up on things.
To America,
no, I don't know. Neither do you.
Last night, I don't know if you saw, just as with the election, the night before, a guy who really did a great job, Vivek, you know?
Yeah, Vivek. Yeah, totally.
Ramaswamy.
What? Who?
A guy who really did a great job, Vivek, you know? Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy. Yeah, he said Vivek Ramaswamy. This is what happens when you're so in fuck that guy mode that even when they become your friends, you can't help but continue to insult them.
A guy who really did a great job, Vivek, you know? Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy. There it is. Okay.
Vivek. I got a call just before I was going on. He said, would you please hold? I would like to come over and see you. We're in the same building. Right after the Iowa votes were in. Although it happened so fast, I was told at 10 o'clock you will know. So about 7, we got there at 7, but they said by 10 o'clock, because it's a different system, caucus, right? I don't know if you want caucus here. It's a much more complicated system. I'd relax. Just change your laws around here. Get your governor to do something for a change. But you know.
Okay, by the way, his big complaint is that independents and Democrats, you can vote cross-party in the primaries in New Hampshire. You know, the live free or die. It's that kind of state. And so he hates that. He thinks he's going to get rat fucked by a bunch of Democrats and independents who are like voting for Nikki Haley and stuff like that. So he's panicked about that. And his bigger problem is actually the actual Republicans themselves who aren't going to vote for him. But yeah, especially because it's a secret ballot. So he's going to go, you know, watch for him to just talk about a rigged deal and all that shit again after.
It's a complicated system. So, but I was always told you will know the outcome by 9:30 to 10 o'clock. So I made a very early speech to a lot of people. It was great, and these people had such a. And I'm walking off. It's about like 10 after 7.
It's a great story. Great. I'm excited.
And they said to me, grab me on the stage just as I was getting, congratulations, sir, you won. I said, won what? It's like close to 7 o'clock. I said, won what? You just won the Iowa primary, you call it, the Iowa caucus.
You call it a primary. We keep trying to tell you to call it a caucus, but just they were hoping to tell you to just go up there and accept it and get the fuck off. And
I said, how did I win the caucus? I just got here. You know, the doors were still open to the army tank that I drive in. You know, we drive in, we have windows that are like this thick. I've never seen.
yeah, he's gonna is he gonna go into the shit about getting shot and the bullet will bounce off and kill the person that's trying to kill him in his fucking paranoid delusion.
Anything like that. I call it an army tank. But
yeah, because it's not. It's an SUV, but
we
okay.
I used to drive a Rolls Royce, and now I drive in an army tank. But you know,
First of all, you don't drive anything. You don't drive. You can't drive. You can't. You drive. You can barely drive a golf cart.
the army tank costs more money than the Rolls Royce. So you know.
Well, yeah, because the Rolls Royce can't take a hit from a rocket propelled grenade. Fuckhead.
A friend of mine said, you know, you have so many of those things. Don't you like the Rolls Royce better? I said, well, actually, this is much more expensive than a Rolls Royce if you want to. But no.
Yeah, taxpayer dollars. You could always give it up, I guess. Also, I hate when they put the ads up on this thing. It's just rude. Does that work? Hold on.
I just got there, and they
Sorry, there it is.
Lumpy pillows kiss my ass.
There you go.
say, congratulations. I didn't know what they were talking about because they say, how could it be over? But it was over very fast. And I said, we must.
It wasn't over very fast. You just had a lead that was big enough where they called it already. You hadn't won yet. That wasn't official till late. This is fucking dumb.
To really swamp them to call it that early. But I was
You slabbed it, I think is the phrase.
we have to slab it. Told
Yeah.
that you had to wait till from 9:30 to 10 o'clock, but we did so well. And I think we're going to have the same result here. I really do. I think we're going to have
No. 'cause
But
it's
we're
not
also going
It's not a caucus, fuckwad. All right. Anyway.
to place strong protections to stop banks and regulators from trying to debank you from your,
From your bank? From debank you from banking?
you know, your political beliefs, what they do.
What you do? What the do? What the but that do? That's like this whole
Purge the anti-Semitism and pro-terrorism. What you're doing.
that's the whole what you do.
Want to debank you, and we're going to debank. Think of
We're gonna debank them. How you like that? How you like that? How you like them apples? You debank us? No, I'll debank you. Get me to debank on time.
this. They want
No, wait. You don't change the subject. What the fuck?
trying to debank you from your, you know, your political beliefs, what they do. They want to debank you, and we're going to debank. Think of this. They want to take away your rights. They want to take away your country. The things you're doing, all electric cars, give me a break. If you
What the fuck does this have to do with banking?
want an electric car, good, but they don't go far. They're very expensive. They're going to be made in China. That's why I think I'm going to get the auto workers to vote for Trump. You know, we're having great talks. But think of what they want to do. They want to take away your rights. Upon taking office, I will also restore peace through strength. I will get.
You just dropping the whole banking thing. That whole they're debanking you thing. You just skipped the whole page, or that was in the teleprompter. Somebody just went, oh fuck, he doesn't know what the fuck that is. Nope.
That war in Ukraine settled so fast. It should have never happened. It never would have happened. And it didn't happen. People say, well, how do we know that? Actually,
It was happening the entire time. They were still fighting in the Donbass the entire time he was there. Also, just for the record, you notice how this motherfucker never says, if I was in office, ISIS never would have attacked Iran and set off a bomb that triggered Iran to attack Syria, Iraq, and Pakistan. Notice he's not jumping into that shit. That somehow, that's just those people being how those people are. What an asshole. All right, hold on. I'm going to slide this thing down. Also, by the way, don't forget, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up. You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Hi, chat room. Hi, guys. What's going on? Please don't debank us. There's the Venmo. You can become a Patreon supporter, patreon.com/HalSparks. Okay, now on to our other our follow-up guests this evening. Well, let's go. I mean, because this deals with the election that's going on right now, and Don Jr. was on Newsmax because he doesn't have a real job, and it said something very awkward. I mean, this is the title of this video. Let me squeeze this down so you guys can see it. Don Jr., I'll do anything to make sure it's not Haley. Way to take one for the team. What are you going to do? Fuck Mr. Haley? How do you mean? Anything? What does that mean? Anyways, it's Donald Trump Jr. Dems funding Haley's Stop Trump campaign. He's on Wake Up America, which most Americans sleep through.
Joining us to discuss is someone very familiar with the
Is someone disgusting?
former president's campaign, Executive Vice President of the Trump
Vice President?
Organization, Donald Trump Jr. Don, good to see you. How are you?
Bloated.
I'm doing well. Doing really well, actually. Thanks.
That's nice.
Thanks. Not in Iowa anymore. So, you know, I got to say, the snow in New Hampshire is a lot better than the snow in Iowa. You know what I'm talking about.
Nice to have you back. After your father's Iowa landslide, it's clear Donald Trump is now the preferred candidate, at least right now, not only in Iowa, but
Yeah, Ted Cruz was the preferred candidate after he won the Iowa caucuses last time, too. So he's in good company.
polling suggests nationwide. If we don't see a surprise in New Hampshire on Tuesday, how long do you expect Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis to stay in this race?
Well, I think especially for Nikki Haley, I think she's being funded by Democrats, right? I mean, you see that. She's got Democrat mega donors funding her campaign. The people who are, getting her, gains in New Hampshire are all Democrats. So I probably see that as part of that sort of globalist Democrat, rhino tactic of dragging this out.
The globalist Democrat rhino tactic. Us against the world. Asterix Jews.
To make it harder for Trump to win in general. So, I think you go on to in South Carolina where she was governor, and I think you're going to blow her out there by 30 points plus.
You're going to blow her out there?
But I don't know if that means she gets out, because I don't think it's just about running. I think it's about stopping Trump.
What's your direct message to Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley as we move forward with this campaign?
Since you're the person they're least likely to listen to.
Listen, I helped Ron get elected in 2018. I did probably 30 events.
This is your fault. No wonder your dad hates you. Are we going to find out later that he's the one who talked Trump into endorsing DeSantis? That's what happened. Clearly, that's what happened, right? Because the son's always come up with the dumb fucking harebrained ideas, and he's just too fucking soup-headed himself he just signs off on everything if he thinks he can come up on top even a little bit.
For him, I voted for him last time. I'd like him to be a governor in Florida, not be.
He is actually a governor in Florida, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, currently.
In Iowa for the last year. I mean, I'm a resident of his state. Right. It would be nice to have a governor there, and maybe have
excuse me. He, as a governor, would like to have you as a citizen in his state. You have not been there either. You've been on the road as much or more than he has. So, in all fairness, I think you guys should just bunk up, get a Winnebago or something, and then just tour across the country together.
A chance to actually win the presidency rather than draining the resources you need to take on Joe Biden.
Excuse me. Your dad is the one literally siphoning money away from Republican races that's going up his nose, out his ass, or into the pockets of his lawyers.
As a conservative, I want to stop these insane policies that we see from today's left.
The policy that we see from today's left. Yes, what policies would those be?
Whether it's immigration, whether it's the attack on our energy sector.
It's the sector. Is tertiary syphilis, is tongue swelling? He's got blow in his sock drawer, you think, Loretta?
Whether it's the wars breaking out, literally.
If the war's breaking out, literally, guys.
All over the world, because
it's all over the world. And you know what? Some people will say that the cocaine in New Hampshire had the compound in it that make your upper palate, your hard palate, swell up. And that kind of, so,
A lack of leadership,
which I haven't found to be the case.
a lack of competency, a focus on, the 9,476 genders that the Democrat Party seems to make a priority of their party. I don't want to focus on those things anymore. I want to focus on putting America first.
Yeah, the difficult thing is programming in when you're firing at missile sites in the fighting back against the Houthis, is that now, because of Joe Biden, you have to program in what gender, you have to ask the pronoun of the site you're going to bomb, and wait till it responds before you can hit it, because with our woke military.
Nikki Haley, I don't believe agrees with any of those things.
Right.
I believe she's legitimately far more of a Democrat than a Republican. So I don't see this message
Well, I mean, of course you think that. She's female.
resonating with her, but that's just fine. I spoke, literally right after her at the same caucus location in Iowa.
Yeah, you did? Right after her, you smoke? Seriously, what the fuck is going on? Is it true that he has that, like, hard palate replacement thing in his in the top of his mouth? It's like a retainer because he blew a hole in it with cocaine, and he's got to wear that thing. Is that what this is? And it's like slipping, or it's the wrong size, or he's got tongue swelling because of whatever the fuck.
And even the press, who probably hates my guts, reluctantly had to write the article that I got far more applause than her, because the people there are there to actually vote in a Republican caucus.
Also, maggots tend to, sell their beliefs by applause, and other people just tend to vote or listen. Again, they think the louder you scream, the more votes you get. Doesn't work that way.
She's trying to get Democrats to vote for her to stop Trump, but they're not going to end up voting for her against the radical leftist Democrat, Joe Biden administration in the end. It's all
right. But she shouldn't have to worry about that. Republicans should all just come back to whoever the nominee is and vote for her anyways. Why the fuck? The question isn't, will she be able to bring back Democrats who voted for her in the New Hampshire primary to vote for her in the general? The question is why if she becomes the nominee, maggots won't vote for her. There's a reason. And looking at her, I've tried to find, I can't figure out what could it possibly be. There's two reasons that come to mind. Yeah.
Just one big ploy to try to hurt Trump, who will actually put America first.
So Trump is already
on the chopping block, of course. That's the part of America First they never tell you about. He's like, it's the first thing he throws on the table in the poker game, or the first thing he's willing to negotiate away. I'm America First. Take America, leave me alone.
He said that he's picked his VP, but he can't tell us. Back in 2016, he didn't pick somebody that was running for president. He chose Mike Pence, who at the time was not a candidate for president. Could you see your father running with Ron DeSantis? I asked him that question over the summer, and he didn't rule it out. Could you see Ron DeSantis?
How do you? It's hard. People do that. Like, I would do whatever I could to make sure it wasn't Nikki Haley, but But like a Ron DeSantis, could I see? You're never going to rule out someone.
Why would you? That's interesting. So the quote about "I'll do everything I can to make sure it's not Nikki Haley" is not about her becoming president or becoming the nominee, but making sure she doesn't become the VP. That strikes me as odd. Does that not? Chat room, does that not strike you as particularly odd? Like, why would that be the hill to die on? You'll do more to keep her from being VP than you would do to keep her from being president or even the nominee.
That is, a leading contender. It doesn't mean that's who you go with. I could see other people that would be great. I'd love to see, a J.D. Vance. I'd love to see a Tucker Carlson. I'd love to see.
Yeah, me too. Go for it. Do those things. That's a great idea. Yeah. And I'm sure Tucker Carlson would love the scrutiny that you get when you become a candidate. It's very different from the scrutiny you get just being a fucking, like, talking head on Fox.
People who
or shitter or wherever now.
Principally, in alignment as well as, like, aggressive.
Aggressive.
Actually need a fighter. The Republicans.
No, you don't. You need I thought we needed somebody who knew how to make deals, right? I mean, he's not fighting. He'd be negotiating trade deals and negotiating with, if he didn't have the votes to get whatever he wanted passed through Congress, he'd have to negotiate with the people on the other side to get as much as he could, you know?
In Washington, D.C. are weak. You can have the House, the Senate, and they'll still roll over.
They still roll over, guys. I want you to know this. They will still, every time, they will roll over.
Don, is your dad serious about Tucker Carlson? Are those rumors serious?
I would imagine, listen, that's clearly, it would be on the table, right? I mean, they're very friendly. I think they agree on virtually all of these things. They certainly agree on stopping the never-ending wars.
No, they didn't. You're okay. First of all, every time they bring this up, I have to remind everybody that Trump ran on getting us out of Afghanistan and didn't do it. He released 5,000 Taliban fighters, didn't bring the Afghan government into the negotiations, and then he left office when he could have started the withdrawal during his last year in office and used COVID as cover, as a pretext for getting most of the people out of there. It would have been super easy if he had any fucking brains at all, but he didn't, because he intended to say. And then afterwards, ever since, he has been saying, we're going to keep Bagram. There is no way you get out and stay at the military base. It doesn't happen. It's absurd.
So, I would love to see that happen. And, that would certainly be a contender.
Ben Carson, those rumors legit?
Also, this is another dumb idea from him. Ben Carson is a rumor. No.
Ben's great. I mean, what a great.
That's a no.
What a great American. Someone who was just steadfast.
He's totally steadfast
and loyal throughout all of the insanity of the last years. I'd love to see that. And Ben's almost too nice for politics. That may be the only problem. Can you withstand the insanity that's in there? But I'd love to see a Ben Carson in there.
That might be a good thing. But no way, Nikki Haley.
Well, that's my opinion. I don't make these decisions, but I don't think that's currently really on the table.
But you're
why? Again, I got to say, why? Just because she's actually making the most headway? Or, quite frankly, because she's a woman of color and she's a woman of East Asian descent, and we already have a woman of color who's partially of East Asian descent in the VP slot, and it would look like you guys are just trying to, Biden was my age now when he kicked my ass, and he had a woman of color in his second spot. So maybe I'll just rip him off. It's what I do.
Your father listens to you. Your
Oh, come on, dude. That's just mean.
Father listens to you. His family, maybe more than anyone else.
Oh, that explains a lot of the shitty decisions he's made.
That opinion matters.
I've been pretty involved in the political game for quite some time, and I think
yeah, since he started losing. Yeah, you jumped in right after he accidentally won in 2016, and you've been screwing the pooch ever since.
More importantly, I actually, let's say, live with the base. I hang out with the base. Those are my
I totally live with the base.
people. Those are my friends. I'm not, the New York City rubber chicken dinner, charity circuit guy. I hunt and fish and travel with real Americans, and I think I have a pretty good understanding of where they're at.
Unlike Eric and your sister and your brother-in-law, who's a billionaire now. Oh my God! All right, so jackassery. Let's just and ultimately saying nothing. Ultimately, this is just blather. Now, this. Hold on, let me see this. Okay, we gotta address this one right out there because we take a break momentarily from the campaign trail here at Houseparks Megaworldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show in any way you can. And if you can't, just share the clips, and thanks for being here. And I appreciate your time. It's the greatest gift you can give anybody, and I don't take it for granted. Now, people have been making the case that Trump's brain is slipping and he's got syphilis, tertiary syphilis, I believe, which means I think you got it below the Earth's crust. Anyways, lately, mainly a couple reasons. One, his nasty hands and the sores on them and all that stuff, whatever was happening. And then on top of that, his drifting thought patterns and his kind of easily confusing his own talking points and kind of rambling, which he's been doing for a while now, and it's getting worse. But I mean, I think it's just that's him speaking MAGA. I think there is that syphilitic nonsense is the language of MAGA. Does that make sense? And I'll give you an example. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Roseanne and some dude. And Jimmy Corsetti, I think this guy's name is, according to the hashtags in this. And then I don't know the guy in the middle, but I just know that he was on. This guy was on the dust cover of the book that Trump had on his nightstand for years. That's all I know about the guy. You know, so let's see. And this one. We're going straight up Hollow Earth, kids. We're not even going to stop at, you know, the Nazis really didn't break up. They just moved to Argentina. Did Hitler flee to Antarctica? Because, you know, during the Iowa and New Hampshire primaries, our dear Roseanne is getting to the bottom of the real story. Here we go.
Can I ask? I know we have to wrap, but we really only have like 5 minutes. Right. But can you just give her 5 minutes of Antarctica for me?
Oh shit!
And
yeah.
we'll have you back.
I don't have any like secret knowledge on Antarctica, but
do you think it's the Nazi breakaway thing, or you just know more history?
Okay. Now, I don't know why their audio is fucked up. His mic is thrown left. The other guy's dead center. Maybe he was trying to put it in her ear for a while, or trying to whisper to her at one point, and then he flicked it back over and didn't do it. So sorry if the audio is fucked up. I'm just hearing it for the first time myself. For those of you who don't know, a little bit of backstory, and maybe this guy will give it, but the idea is that Hitler didn't really die with a bullet in the head covered in petrol. He and the head Nazis all fled to Argentina, and then they made their way to Antarctica, where there's a cave entrance to the inside of the Earth, which is hollow. And they live inside the hollow Earth with all the giant, tall, blonde people, of which he is not one.
Historically, stuff about Antarctica.
So, I don't know. Like, there's weird things about Antarctica, which is.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can't argue with that, can you, kids? Hold on. Let's back up in volume a little bit.
Is that all the what is it? All the hands have their thing in the honey jar. How's that saying go?
Yeah,
like,
all the governments have making money in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the statement. You guys remember that old chestnut? They all have their hands in the honey jar, and the governments make money in that. Yeah, I remember my grandmother had that, like, crocheted on a pillow in her fallout shelter.
And I think, all right, so I have a few thoughts. One could be real conspiratorial. I'll say
it's kind of an international place. Nobody can claim it.
Right, and they all
kind of
have it split up, like down to like the center of it, and it's like a big, think of a big pie chart. It's like here's the U.S. and China, blah, blah, blah. And I think if I had to, we'll go into like levels of conspiracy. If I had to go to just the most likely scenario,
yeah, please go there first. Roseanne's gonna hate it, but
I think it's the fact that the poles are gonna shift, that ice is gonna melt, most people on Earth will die, and then underneath that ice, in its abundance of all the Earth's resources, there will be.
Like a time capsule, or is there just a bunch of liquid corn? Who buried it there? The Earth's resources? Wait, there's only one way to get to it?
The oil, gold, diamonds,
which is what you would need after everyone on Earth is dead. Now I can wear all the gold and diamonds I want and drive my big diesel tractor to impress all the chicks that are no longer alive.
God knows what else.
Well, of course he does. He put it there. This is crazier than I thought. And this is, okay, by the way, this is him easing into it. Yeah, high fructose corn syrup, anything you want. Yeah. Jesus, Twinkies.
Maybe even evidence of a lost civilization. I should also say that the ice is supposed to be really old, so that shouldn't be possible. If you want to, like, you know, people are listening, I don't want to, like, give you information that's inaccurate.
Well, first of all, you'd have to be giving information. You don't have any, so you can't give inaccurate information. You're talking out of your ass. No one. All right.
But there's something weird about Antarctica.
Yeah, totally. It's like way down there at on the bottom, or is it the top of Earth? I mean, in space, which way is there really an up?
There is.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Well, you should go there. I'd get a pickaxe and some mittens. It is chilly.
I don't know. I mean, the Nazis had interest in it, which is interesting.
It is interesting. That's what the Nazis said. They said it in German, of course.
anyone reads about it, it's like, oh, they were just interested in getting whale oil and and that's the end of it. Okay, well, I don't know. I wasn't there.
This guy's good. This guy's really good. I don't know what it's ancient aliens that scoop this motherfucker up.
I know that like it's just something about it.
Yeah, something. Just it's. You know what? I will say, Antarctica has moxie. That's there. I feel I said it is of the two poles, it's the most fuckable. That's my own personal opinion. I'm not telling you what to think.
So I don't know if it's like the place where the it's the entrance to inner Earth or something. Probably not, but maybe. Like I don't.
Yeah, some
Do you
people
want to
say
tell
it
him,
is.
Ma? You know what it is, or you have?
Yeah, you know what it is. Tell him. That's right. He's the expert. But yeah, Roseanne is here to save the day. Tell us, Roseanne, what is up with Antarctica? What's it got going on?
Theories on it.
Well, they say it's a breakaway continent that the Nazis founded in World War II, just before and during.
Right.
Where it's supposed to be bigger than the whole North American continent,
Right.
under the ice. So it's bigger than our whole continent, and they.
Just for the record, the ground and the under the ice and the water is bigger than, well, it's the whole Earth, I think, really.
Brought something like 40,000 German women there during
Yummy, and some fur coats, I hope.
World War to meet with the
He must be exhausted.
soldiers they had there,
Right.
the perfect Aryan people,
Mm.
and
Oh, you mean the Iranians?
they've had all this time to breed,
He brought 40,000 Iranian women down there.
and there's 250 million of them that live there.
There's okay. So they've been doing some fucking apparently. He brought 40,000 Aryan women down, and now there's 250 million Nazis living in Antarctica right now, just hanging out, just living there. They're doing what?
And that's where all the high space tech is coming from.
I see. America didn't invent this shit. The moon landing was, we faked it because it was actually, we're just grabbing the Nazis' feed.
See, that's fascinating, and I'm
No, it isn't. Fascinating is the other word. The word is batshit. No.
open to it. A lot of people won't believe this stuff, but I will say that there's this.
Yeah, yes, a lot of people, that is true. That is probably the most factual thing said so far. A lot of people will not believe this stuff.
Jake, did you see that map I sent you?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to. Yeah,
Okay,
that was
so
crazy.
there's a map from the late 1670s. It's
Really? And when they really nailed down maps, you know what I mean? The 1670s, man, that was the peak of map making on Earth. Fuck this Google satellite horse shit.
called the Kunyu-Kuantu map. It was made
Say that 10 times fast. Kunyu Kuantu, Kunyu Kuantu, Kunyu Kuantu.
by this Polish map maker who
Oh, okay. So it wasn't a map at all.
moved to China. This is like
Did he move there or did he just get lost following his own map? I'm sorry.
1677 or 1672, regardless.
Yeah, his twos look like sevens. It's hard to tell.
It shows. So let me just say this to anyone listening.
Or that hasn't given up right now or isn't laughing.
Antarctica wasn't discovered until 1820, according to what we taught about in school.
Right.
However, there are other maps that seemingly show the Antarctic continent hundreds of years before its alleged discovery. Now, people will debunk it and say, well, this is probably just Tierra del Fuego, which is on the southern tip of Antarctica. Others will say, oh, this is just Australia. What's unique about this map is a couple things. One, it shows Tierra del Fuego, and it's not connected to it whatsoever. It
Nailed it.
shows Australia, which is not connected to it whatsoever. And the only
Right.
thing that's more
But it doesn't show New Zealand.
bizarre than all of that is that it shows giraffes, crocodiles, beavers.
Well, yeah. I think the beaver part's gonna be, yeah. Real quick, is there a chance possibly that at some point, while he was working on his map, he went to go get a bite to eat. Somebody walked in and went, what's he working on? That's amazing. And then they left, and when he came back, he went, fuck it. Give me my beaver stamp. Dunk, 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 dunk.
All kinds of exotic animals.
Yeah, exotic beavers. That's what Hitler was looking for, apparently. He brought his own.
Down there. And now, let me say this.
Most beavers are down there, I think. Stop it. I'm sorry. I can't. Not anymore.
The skeptics will say that, oh, well, that's obviously
stupid, crazy. You're a nutcase. You're ridiculous. Those maps weren't based on hardly anything. There were large chunks of the earth that were fucking missing.
Just one, not possible because it's frozen.
Guessing, yeah.
And two, they'll say, well, it's just artist depiction, like perhaps the unexplored land. But here's where it gets wild: is that
it's wild.
Going back to even the ancient Greeks, they
Here's where it gets wild. I have one of those beavers right here. All right, sorry.
Understood that not only the Earth was round, but that the poles were frozen.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the most bizarre map. It's Kunyu Kwantu, Kunu Kwantu.
All right. Well, we'll look it up. Hold on. Kunyu Kwantu. Kunyu Kwantu. Kunyu Kwantu. Go to the restaurant map. There we go. Something like that. Kunyu Kwantu map. Nope. Kunyu Kwantu. You do and you'll clean it. Okay, this is here it is, 1672. This is in Biblioteca Martiana. Here we have the Kunyu Kwantu. Kunyu Kwantu. Simplified. Okay. Full map of the world. I see. Okay. In Chinese. His pronunciation was ass. Sorry. Kunyu Kwantu. Full map of the world. Okay. The map was developed by the Jesuit father Ferdinand Verbiest during his mission in China in 1674. Okay. Copies in the Henterman follows the Matteo Ricci. External language. Hold on. That's it. This is just the picture. This is the image of his drawing of it. Oh, there's all the beavers and everything. This is the. I got to tell you, I think they just hit a point where there was snow, and he's just basically showing you which animals are found in which latitude along here. It's another possibility. Also, we're not everywhere he hits a place like I'm not going any further. There's fucking alligators down that way. Like that was the animals were put there as an excuse why he didn't continue going further. Jesuit father Ferdinand Verbiest. There he is. He's Flemish. He's not Polish. In China during the reign of the Qing dynasty, he was born in Pittem near Tielt in the country of Flanders, now part of Belgium. He's known as Nan Huairen. In Chinese, ambitious mathematician, astronomer. He became friends with Kangxi the Emperor, friendly. During 60 designs to claim the first ever self-propelled vehicle. Many claim it is the first automobile, in spite of the small size, lack of evidence that it was actually built. Okay. Was the eldest child of Jews Verbiest. I knew it. The Jews had to be involved somehow. It's the Jews Verbiest. I knew it. Talky Jews. That's who's running this whole thing. That just be you had to know that the Jews were in charge of this. All right. So, he left China for China from Lisbon. Sorry, accompanied by Father Martino Martini, 35 other missionaries, Portuguese. Okay, blah blah. Yang Guanxian published a pamphlet against the Jesuits, challenged Charles von Bell to a public astronomy competition. Yang won and took Charles von Bell's place as head of mathematics. Having lost the competition, Charles von Belt and the other Jesuits were chained and thrown into a filthy prison, accused of teaching a false religion. They were bound to wooden pegs in such a way that they could neither stand nor sit, and remained there for almost 2 months until a sentence of strangulation was imposed. A high court found this sentence too light and ordered them to be cut up into bits while still alive. Fortunately for them, a violent earthquake destroyed the part of the prison chosen for execution. An extraordinary meteor was seen in the sky, and fire destroyed part of the imperial palace where the condemnation was pronounced. This was seen as an omen, and then all the prisoners were released. That's a pretty strong penalty for losing. What's second place? You don't want to know. Okay. So, anyways, back to the massive beavers, right?
Like QUANTU. It's even on the Library of Congress website.
They allow it? Oh my God. It's, you know what? That's the thing about the Illuminati. They rub it in our fucking faces.
You can look this up. It even has a Wikipedia page. And I only just
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not a lot there. I'm just
learned of it a number of months ago. And I'm like, how have I never seen or heard of this map before?
I don't know, because you're in some sort of ideological capture.
Yeah, isn't that incredible when that stuff happens?
Right? And so I'm like, I'm not here to tell anyone it's real or that it was thought out and there's animals down there. Like, you know what I mean? But like at the same time, I look at, we're talking about like Nazi escape, you know, my mind was blown when I realized that in 1955, 10 years after Hitler was allegedly killed himself, allegedly,
they
never found him, that the CIA was pouring enormous resources into looking for him. And that the rumors are that he and a bunch of other Nazis escaped to Argentina.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, who does? Everybody knows that. I mean, we all saw that they saved Hitler's brain and all those movies they made. Yeah.
And that's a rabbit hole, because I'm like, not only did they never find his skull, when they thought they had found Eva Braun's, it turned out to be not positive. It was the opposite sex and different age, whatever it was. Like, they don't find.
Well, I mean, kind of. Can we just say we don't quite? I mean, maybe that's just what Hitler was into. Maybe Ava was not her birth name. Her, I guess, in quotes. But you know, I don't know that I have to respect her pronouns if it turns out to be that Ava Braun was a male and a horrible person. I don't know what the rules are in that particular. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck about Hitler's pronouns. There, I said it. Or anybody else that hung out with him. I'm just gonna say, I think if respecting someone's pronouns is going to be attached to the word respect, anybody I don't respect, automatically, I don't give a shit. I will call them whatever I want. Whatever will irritate them the most. I think that's the goal.
Not vanished without a trace. Right. Whereas they found the Goebbels, they found all them. And so it's like, knowing someone, a tyrant like him, I'm like, something tells me, and I don't know him, but I'm like...
Thanks for at least clearing that up. I was starting to wonder.
He didn't kill himself.
That pussy dipped out.
Yeah.
He dipped out of there. He didn't go down with the ship. He fucking ran out of there. And so got.
That's the thing about, and that's gotta. I mean, you're bursting a lot of people's bubbles. A lot of people thought he was a tough guy. You're just saying he was a chicken shit weasel who split that motherfucker. There are a lot of people watching the Roseanne Barr podcast right now who are losing their respect for Hitler in real time.
You know, I don't know how long he would have lived.
I think he went to Argentina too.
I would think so.
There's huge.
I think they went to the U.S.
There's huge Nazi towns down there.
Some went to Mexico.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the other place. I mean, where do you see the most Aryans, really?
And some went to Argentina.
Yeah, and this is very bad.
They've said that.
No.
Right? Nazis
They've
have
told
gone there.
everyone that.
They did. There's whole communities that still speak German. I couldn't believe this. I
There's-
learned this on Joe Rogan when we had that gentleman on and was talking about it. And
That gentleman?
I started looking into it. I'm like,
No, I watched a documentary on it. They have like Nazi towns, basically.
Yeah, they're totally. It's just Nazi town. Like Nazi town, Argentina, and it's weird that their economy is having a rough time. It's odd. Must be having all those Nazis around just really fucks with tourism, you know.
German, I shouldn't say that.
right?
Yeah, German. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't know if they're still Nazis.
But World War II era German towns,
Right.
They're full on like little Germany,
Yeah.
and a lot of them did flee there. All right, well, we do have to wrap up, but
Yeah. I mean, that's all you need, though. I don't need any more. Do you guys need any more? This is that settles it for me. Somebody drew a map with a giant beaver on the bottom of it, and that lets us know that the Illuminati is hiding. I guess the Eyes Wide Shut parties from all of us, where they drink baby milkshakes. Clearly, now. Apparently there's been movement on the pipe bombs, and Glenn Beck is on the case. He's figured out who could have guessed, who discovered, this is who found the Jan 6 pipe bombs outside of the DNC. Now, I'm going to go on a limb and say that more than likely it was someone involved with the DNC, since it was their headquarters and they were probably around there, or the security involved, or someone who knows somebody who works at the DNC who maybe dropped him off and went, hey, what's that duffel bag doing sitting there? Yeah, we'll see.
The purveyor of
Shit.
mis
Loud.
and disinformation.
Donald Trump? Hold on. I don't know why this is like, hold on. Turn this part off and then go back up to here.
Global purveyor of fake information is the United States government at this point.
Okay.
I don't trust a
really? So you just, how about military medals then? When people get, medals for service, Glenn. So what do? Do you walk up to anybody who's got their medals or representation of their medals on their hat or something, you just spit on them and go, bullshit, I don't believe that. Whatever you said you were fighting for or wherever you said you were fighting, obviously you're lying about it, right?
damn thing they say. And
Which is bullshit also, by the way. Have you had have you eaten anywhere or taken a medication or driven anywhere? Do you wear a seatbelt? Fuck off.
you shouldn't. Let me give you this story. This broke yesterday from The Blaze.
Really? Did it? Well, luckily you know somebody who works there, I think, right?
Blaze Media can now reveal that the person who discovered the pipe bomb at the Democratic National Committee headquarters in Washington, D.C. on January 6th was a United States Capitol Police plainclothes officer.
Right, because part of their job, it's right next to the Capitol, and their job is to walk the grounds.
Now, let me
Who found it at the Republican building? Did he make a call and then they checked and they found the other one over there? That's who should find it.
Let me refresh you on this. There were 2 pipe bombs that were found on January 6th. The FBI, with all of their resources, all of the surveillance video, cannot find who.
Yeah, but in their defense, the guy running it at the time is a Trump appointee, and Donald Trump was president at the time. So, and he disappeared with a bunch of intel, so he may have taken that folder with him.
Who planted those bombs? Luckily, one was found by a passerby, the first one, at the RNC headquarters. Some woman apparently ran in and said, I think there might be a pipe bomb in the alley. And they were like, oh, we've got to call the police.
And then the police went over and checked because that was somebody who was nearby, and then they found it. A woman? What was the woman's name? Marjorie Taylor what?
The police came and said, yes, it's a pipe bomb.
Okay, well, was it out in plain view? Because I think most of us could recognize a pipe bomb if you saw one.
But it didn't go off. In fact, the details that we have show that it probably wasn't really designed to go off.
So it was a distraction. So one of the maggots on was going to leave a threat, and they figured if it wasn't actually a functioning bomb, the charges would be less, but it might shut down the Capitol for a couple of days if you drop off a couple of fake bombs. Right. Mm-hmm.
But it had like that kitchen timer. Then, just a few minutes later, another passerby was walking by a park bench right in front of the DNC headquarters, and they spotted what they thought was a pipe bomb.
Well, did it look like a pipe bomb?
And so they immediately ran in and said, hey, I think I found a pipe bomb, and the Secret Service freaked out. They went out, and then they gathered that pipe bomb. They're like, look, John, it is a pipe bomb. And the other guy was like, Tom, that's crazy. I wonder who put that there. Should we get the vice president out? No.
The vice president? What?
Let's leave her inside.
Well, she wasn't the vice president at that time. She was the vice president-elect, I think, if you're talking about. Or is this when we found out that Mike Pence's pronouns are she, her?
Okay. So far, I've got quite a tale, I'm telling you.
Why is this something? Why is your kind of like odd vocal attitude on how this played out in the kind of generic story points, somehow evidence of a conspiracy, please say something of value.
Now, let me add something else.
Anything. You haven't added anything at all.
All of the text traffic and all of the diary, if you will, that the Secret Service keeps, on January 6th, it was all accidentally deleted. Damn it. Did I push delete? I didn't mean to do that.
It's weird that those are the people protecting Donald Trump at that time. And included in that was the story, allegedly, of him threatening the Secret Service and wanting to be taken to the Capitol and all the shit he said. And the idea is that they erased all those stories of that, not about the fucking pipe bomb.
Deleted all of it?
Yeah, they weren't texting who. I think this is somebody, some fucking hook-toed bitch walking around with a duffel bag. You know, I think, is that Marjorie Taylor Greene? Like, nobody.
Crap. So they can't tell us exactly what happened. They can't tell us exactly why Kamala Harris left. She was at the Capitol waiting for the, the vote on the
She was a senator?
presidency to finalize that. She was supposed to be there. Remember, she's a member of the Senate, too.
Right. That might have been one of the reasons why she was there.
She's the tiebreaker. But she was suddenly called away, and nobody can recall why.
She wasn't the tiebreaker. What the fuck are you talking about? They hadn't been sworn in yet. She wasn't vice president. She was just a senator.
And she had to go to the DNC headquarters. Why? We don't know. Probably something very important, though. And so the Secret Service rushed her in, got her in. They did a check of the whole area. They didn't find a pipe bomb. But this passerby, who, just as a passerby, he found a pipe bomb. Secret Service couldn't. But the passerby found it because it was sitting right there in a way that it looked like it was meant to be discovered. Well, we've tried to find out who this guy is, this passerby, this innocent guy who had a sharp eagle eye and found that sitting on the sidewalk right
after they found one at the RNC, and they were like, we need to watch out for one at the DNC, and they did a look and they didn't find one, but this one turned up later on the park bench, and they found it because they sent plainclothes people around there just to look for it in case they showed just police officers around. It might make the person trigger a bomb if they'd set one at the DNC. Do you have a problem with just fucking adulting?
in front of the park bench, all by himself. Found out who he was. He was a D.C. Metro police officer.
Yeah. They had gotten a call that there was a bomb at the RNC, and so they were sending people around, it would seem, to be on the lookout in case, without starting a big to-do.
Now, why wouldn't the D.C. Or Capitol police officer, why wouldn't everyone want you to know that it was a police officer that found that instead of just a passerby? It would lend more credibility, wouldn't it, Stu? It wasn't just some old lady that's like, I think that's a pipe bomb. It's got a timer on it. No. This is a D.C. cop. Right.
I, honest to God, don't know where the fuck he's going with this. Why is this supposed to be weird? Does anybody know? Because this clip is almost over. I don't know what the fuck he's on about.
You can see a couple of officers sitting there. Some random person comes up, maybe not appearing credible. Oh, there's a bomb over there. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, sir. Appreciate that. But if it's a DC, it was Capitol Police officer, right? Capitol Police officer, plain.
They'd already had the report of the other one at the RNC. Checking at the DNC is not weird.
Clothes.
Yep.
You'd think, okay, well, this person's very credible. We better get the vice president out of here immediately.
Right. Now, here's what happened. We now know that the United States Capitol Police plainclothes officer walked by, just happened to look down there on the sidewalk, and there was the pipe bomb. So he walked a full 20 feet to the SUV of the Secret Service. And he knocked on the passenger window and then talked to him for a while. and then casually walked around to the driver's side, and they rolled it down, and they talked some more. And what he said was, hey, right over there, about 20 feet from where we're sitting, I found a pipe bomb. Now, Secret Service, what do? Of course, they jump out. They call the bomb squad. They get one of those little robot things to pick it up so it doesn't go off and kill somebody. And they get the first thing they do is they get Kamala Harris away from the area. It's 20 feet away from her motorcade. Whoa, what a close call that was. Except that's not what they did. They left Kamala Harris in the building. And, before they took a look at that pipe bomb, they finished their lunch in the car.
So under Donald Trump, you're saying that the Secret Service wasn't taking the safety of the incoming vice president seriously? Is that your argument? Also, what the fuck are you talking about?
Do we know where the lunch came from? I mean,
No,
sometimes they're,
Look, dude, it's hot. I mean, I've had cold lunches all week. This is the only time we've had to eat our lunch, and while it's still hot.
And if it could be something like off the Taco Bell craveable menu.
All right, honest to fucking God, hold on one second. It would help if there was any kind of Blaze Media has read the full report. Okay, let's pop up on it. Police line 99 cross. This is the Blaze Media revealed a plainclothes Capitol cop found the DC pipe bomb. Now I'm sure this will line up exactly with the story that Glenn Beck just told. It's on his network. Video surveillance shows Secret Service and DC Metro Police finished their lunches before acting on the discovery of a viable explosive device by a person previously identified as a passerby. Blaze Media can now reveal that the person who discovered the pipe bomb at the DNC on January 6th was a United States Capitol plainclothes officer. Multiple congressional staffers familiar with the investigation confirmed to Blaze Media that despite months of FBI stonewalling, previously only a passerby, at 1:05 p.m. on Jan 6th, then unidentified person casually approached DC Metropolitan Police vehicle parked in DNC's parking ramp. Huh? That's not Secret Service. It's DC Metropolitan Police vehicle. Okay. Informed places he'd seen what appeared to be a pipe bomb. Wearing dark clothes and a backpack, the individual can be seen in a video posted on Massey's YouTube channel. First speaking to an officer on the driver's side of the patrol car, he then casually walks around to the cab's passenger where he learned to chat for several seconds. Whoops. Okay. Fuck you. I'm not paying for this shit. You motherfucker. This is how they get you. Okay, Thomas Massey. Okay, hold on. Fuck this. There's a video of it. I don't need this asshole. I don't need this shit. Okay. Hold on. We'll go straight to the video that they're referencing. Let me set you guys up. Talk amongst yourselves for just a second. Because I'm not paying for a fucking Blaze subscription. Get the fuck out of here. Let's see. Thomas Massey. Bomb discovery, I guess. I don't know. Should be there. Breaking news. Thomas Massey confronts FBI Ray about this. This is the Jan 6. I'm publicly releasing footage about the discovery of the... This is Thomas Massey's statement on it. Publicly releasing the discovery of the pipe bomb at the DNC on 1/6. After 900 days, why won't the FBI Director Ray answer congressional questions about the case? Did they even interview the person who appears to have found the bomb? This is the... I don't know, there's even audio on this. I don't think so. So, this is a... Hold on. This is not the same person. Hold on. Let me back this up. There is no audio on this, so that I can see. But let me get you guys back over to here. So, this is the footage that he released. It's an hour long. No, this is 7 minutes of it. So the other part's an hour long. But there is a... Back up here. This is the discovery of it. It's a red light. And then they are parked... I guess this is the DNC headquarters, is what we're supposed to think. There's a police car right there. And he walks up and he says something... to them, I guess. Hold on. This person runs across the street. This person with the backpack. Not the same person that we see in the videos dropping them off. But they could have changed clothes. A lot of fucking maggots running around in weird clothing that day. So, here's a person walking up to them. Different human being. Some people crossing the street. Walks up, talks to this side of the car. 1:05 p.m. on, I guess on the 5th, I guess. Yeah. So he walks. That is it the same guy? And then he walks over and he says something. And by the way, do we have his testimony that he saw a pipe bomb, or he's like, there's something funky over there? I don't know if there's a bag or it was exposed, is the idea. That guy walks back up, and then he goes back to the other car. Okay. What do we got? A minute? We got 6 minutes of them going, it might be a suspicious bag, it might be something, it might be nothing. So he walks back over that way. There's no footage of the other angle. There's not another Massey. There's not a camera on that light. Maybe pointing this way. That wouldn't help to know what the fuck. You know what? Fuck it. I don't need to. You know what? It's none of my business. The bomb is right here, so I don't need to know anything happened over here. I mean, this is perfect. Thanks very much. I can way to give Kentucky a good name. This is the part of it. Okay, and then what? There you go. They finally, a minute later, hold on. He walks by, this truck goes by, they get a call. That car goes by, maybe that's the one going to the RNC. Whatever. These guys get out within a minute of the guy coming over there, and then they start doing shit. That is a coffee cup. That is a scooter. That is where they start. Okay, so they start asking for the footage to move around at that point. So a coffee cup is all I saw. All right, this is. They come over here. Does it scroll back around? These guys are walking around. I don't see a bunch of people like finishing their lunch. I see within 2 minutes them making actions and then off they go. It took about. Okay, so this whole thing starts. The whole video starts at 1:05. By 1:09, 4 minutes later, they are pulling footage and moving shit around. They are going inside to maybe do primary clearance. They send somebody into the DNC. I don't know if they're going to they take the car away. Yeah, and then they go get her out another door instead of bringing her out that way. Yeah, and again, so within, this is motherfucker talking about these people like they finished their lunch. Like they sat there for an hour and they start blocking off the road. This is within 6 minutes of the discovery. They have police on hand. They've cleared her out. That's it. That's the whole fucking footage. This is from Massey's channel. This thing, and then they start with, this is 5 minutes later, almost to the nose. They start clearing the ground, making people walk away. There's another cop car pulls up. They start clearing the area. They get her truck out of there. Again, they probably brought her out on the other side of the building, and then they start clearing people, stopping them coming from the sidewalk, and then they're pointing to where they think it is, which is not, I don't know what they're pointing at. That's grass. That's not helping. You're not helping. I don't know what this is. It's not there either, unless it's in the cone. Also, insofar as I know, it's not on the park bench. Yeah. Yeah, this is it. I don't see fuck all. And it's in the dirt. It's not over in the crevice. It's not by the wall, unless they think it looks funky and it's dropped under whatever that is in the corner. Is that the idea that it was there? That's the sensor for the door. That ain't it. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. It's not sitting on a park bench. That's a coffee cup. They're clearing traffic, getting people away for that so the bomb squad can come. Glenn Beck is talking out of his fucking ass. Yeah. And at this point, by the way, you can tell that they know something's up within 3 minutes. Let's see. This is the best part. This is the scroll part. This is where they move the camera. Okay. That's a coffee cup. That's a fucking coffee cup. That's not the pipe bomb. I don't know if that's... Is it under it? I don't see anything there. Yeah, I call bullshit. And again, it might have been around the corner at the other building, and this is just scrolling footage. This is their discovery of it. And again, if it's around that side of the building and it's a pipe bomb, it's not going to blow the fucking building. The building's safe. So having her bring her outside is stupid. This is fucking lame. Okay, so let's go back to what this asshat was saying. So run this by me again, motherfucker.
What do they do?
What do they do?
Of course, they jump out. They call the bomb squad. They get one of those little robot things to pick it up so it doesn't go off and kill somebody. And they get the first thing they do is they get Kamala Harris away from the area. It's 20 feet away from her motorcade. Whoa, what a close call that was. Except that's not what they did. They left Kamala Harris in the building. And, before they took a look at that pipe bomb, they finished their lunch in the car.
Okay, 4 fucking minutes. This asshole is lying about Secret Service, lying about local police, lying about everybody. And we just watched the footage that he's talking about. This is the footage they released on The Blaze. This is Thomas Massey's file. This is the part that they talk about in the article he's talking about. And Glenn Beck, it's not just that he's a lying piece of shit. It's that he's lying about cops and Secret Service. The Secret Service specifically, who will take a fucking bullet for even a politician they don't particularly like, for the stability of the fucking country and to protect the lives of our leaders. And this motherfucker is just bullshitting about them. And the video's on his fucking site. The fuck are you talking about? Fuck you, Glenn Beck. Fuck you. And again, does this motherfucker just go to Arlington Cemetery and just urinate all over the graves there because whatever they died for, they were lying about it anyways. These guys were probably in black helicopters killing patriots. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, do we know?
Fuck you too, Stu. God damn, this is awful. Ugh. Bloated assholes who've never missed a fucking dessert in their life. Talking shit about people who will die rather than have our country thrown into a fucking constitutional crisis. Fuck. Oh my God. And you know what the name of the product that keeps this show afloat is? My Patriot Supply. Eat shit.
Where the lunch came from? I mean, sometimes they're...
Look, dude, it's hot. I mean, I've had cold lunches all week. This is the only time we've had to eat.
These are the Back the Blue people, by the way. Just like to say, for the record, these are the Back the Blue people. By the way, these... all. Can we look again real quick at this footage? Whatever the information that's coming in, they're getting this hey, there's something over there. I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to go take another look at it. Whatever they ended up doing, they start moving the camera around, see if they get a look at it. That's a fucking coffee cup. They start scrolling around, trying to find out whatever the fuck it is. As far as we know, this is where it would have to be if it's on a park bench or it's around the corner on another one. He saw it over there. He's not saying. But they start shutting down traffic within 4 minutes. And all these guys are like, well, you want to take a look? And he goes, and I don't know if he goes back and takes another look at it or the camera does. And you're like, okay, this is serious. Let's just treat it as as a real problem. Okay, that's it. And that's DC cops, by the way. He tells the DC cops, and then I'm guessing this is Secret Service, and those guys are inside. They call those guys, and they start pouring out of the building because they're with her. And they're not hearing what he's saying to the cop cars. They got their windows up, and they're sitting there, and they're in a fucking bulletproof car. And then they start clearing this place. Within minutes, they're shutting down the street. They got a police car there. They're scanning the area, and they're stopping traffic. And he's like, yeah, you know, they're hating a cold lunch because it's like, Jesus Christ.
Our lunch, and while it's still hot.
And if it could be something like off the Taco Bell craveable menu.
Could be.
It just could be something so delicious. They were like,
Jesus Christ. Like, listen how flippant these motherfuckers are with this. And this is what they accuse us of. Like, I'm surprised this motherfucker doesn't have an ACAB tattoo at this point.
But there it was, 15 to 20 feet away from the bomb, and they fed their face first.
It's weird.
It is weird.
It's a weird decision.
Yeah.
Hey, Stu, how many minutes between when the guy came up and said, it's a pipe bomb, it looks like a pipe bomb, it's definitely a pipe bomb, and them acting, or did he go, I think it looks, I don't know if it's real, I don't know if that's, I can barely see it where it is, I'm going to go take another look at it, or it might be a thing, it might not be a thing. A couple minutes of conversation, he goes, walk around, tell me over here, what's going on? And like, because the Sarge is in the passenger seat, and the new guy's driving, so he's in the driver's seat, right? So like, instead of talking across the car, he comes over and speaks to him directly. The other thing too is if you have a bomb situation, one of the things that, if there's somebody watching it to set something off, one of the things that is, as soon you can't move too quickly and let people know know what's up, because they might trigger it. There's all kinds of reasoning behind this, because they're dealing with reality. They're dealing with a genuine threat. And these motherfuckers are like, why didn't they just pull like the fucking, they just pull the fire alarm essentially?
And weird that the Capitol Police and the congressional hearings didn't include the fact that that was a police officer.
Who cares? Who cares? And by the way, the passerby that talked to that person may have been the person who saw it first and said, I think there's something funky over there. And he goes, okay, I'll check it out. And they kept walking. He didn't know who that person is. They just dropped it. He looks at it. Then he goes and talks about it. He's not the fucking passerby that found it. He's the cop that was walking around the area doing laps because the vice president was in the building. The vice president-elect was in the building. The amount of conclusions that this fucking jumps to while just attempting to just shit on these guys for doing their job is amazing. Fuck this dude. Oh my God. The fuck is wrong? I mean, honestly, the Blaze is so bad, I'm surprised they don't hire Hassan. Jesus Christ. That's amazing. That's fucking amazing. Let's go back to here, and then if I can, I'm gonna grab another thing real quick. Okay, this shouldn't be as aggravating, this next little piece, because as much as that last little clip got on our fucking nerves, and was a waste of fucking time too. Again, understand these guys filled time on their show with this fucking blather. And when we cut that clip, I'm going to personally tweet it. I'm going to shite it at Glenn Beck with a big fuck you. Fuck you, Glenn Beck. You rancid piece of shit. The idea that this motherfucker is like, need lazy cops and their lazy, stupid copy. Fuck you. Fuck you, Glenn. Oh my God. My blood pressure's fine. I'm okay. Again, I have like a certain level of like, I wouldn't call it performative anger because it's genuine, but I don't get anywhere near what my actual anger looks like in this world, because I save that for real awful in the world. You know what I mean? Like I get pretty riled up, but it's always within sort of the comedy bubble of anger for me most of the time, because I save my real anger for moments when it's needed, if that makes sense. All right. If I ever have to do someone in who means my family harm, that's where that lives. You know what I mean? My anger's like, yeah, like a fucking goblin. It's like the creature in It's Alive, that I just save him in a little fucking box, and then something awful really happens, and I just go, yeah, run wild, you little sucker. Rest of the time, take shit in stride and try to keep my cool. All right. So that said, here's another guy who has anger issues. Maybe this will be a bridge that we can make. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Greg Kelly, the most miserable man on the internet, and his circus peanut Jesus that he worships. And this one's, oh shit. This one's called Convicted Killers Get More Rights Than Donald Trump. Okay. Convicted killers get more rights. Donald Trump.
Have you ever heard this pompous slogan?
I've read it. Yeah.
Democracy dies in darkness.
Yeah. It's a phrase that's used by people who actually give a shit about democracy. But tell us how we're a republic and that's all bullshit.
The fake news coined it a couple of years ago, and well, the code basically it's code for.
You're on a fake news channel. Newsmax is pretend news. You're pretend news. Like, I don't call my fucking. I break news sometimes. I put things together on this show, mostly on the morning show, I would say. Where I take stories that people don't necessarily link, and I'll put them together to kind of give context that may not exist anywhere else. I think that's a form of news, but I wouldn't call this a news show in that regard. An aggregate, perhaps, the barrel edition at the most. But we're here primarily for me to mock these dumb motherfuckers. But also, what is it, Murph? Murph? I hear him outside the door. Hold on. What do you want, Murph? What's going on, buddy? I'm following you up. Have you brought these down? I'll get these big. You're all right. No, you're not allowed to go out in the garage. You're not allowed. You're not allowed. You can't go out in the garage, buddy. You can't. I know. You can't go out in the garage. Well, you're not allowed. Okay, we'll go open one of the doors then. We'll hang out. I don't care. Silly thing. All right. Oh, Murphy. All right. So here we go.
Or
he's a handsome man. He is. Okay. Anyways, back to this dipshit.
Give Trump a hard time and cover up for Joe Biden. All right, that's what it means.
Does it? They set this thing in motion that long ago?
In actuality, they only shine a light on Joe Biden when he wants that light. Okay, when he's ready.
You mean when he's got, when he can brag about unemployment or the stock market or wages rising or an infrastructure bill getting passed or the rescue package or the largest investment in green tech in American history or him actually responding to threats as opposed to preemptively doing a bunch of shit or when he doesn't do shit like give a base to Russia.
To give a big speech. Trump, they're always trying to find something, and when they can't find something, well, they just make it up.
Yeah, but most of the time, I got to be honest, they find something. That's the thing. I think that limb has really atrophied for them. That skill has withered. Their fiction, capability, their talent for fiction has really withered a lot because there's just so much real shit.
And Winnie has a no.
Who's Winnie? Who's this Winnie person?
Kidding, clear-cut accomplishment, right? Something that is so newsworthy, and big,
huge. Tell us, what is it?
And yeah, great for him.
Yeah, some great piece of news. What's that?
You got to show it on the news, right? You got it. You can't shadow ban President Trump right after he wins the Iowa caucus. I was too busy watching that speech on Newsmax.
Right. You had your pants around your ankles, and there was a thing of Vaseline on the nightstand. I'm sorry. Sorry for that mental image, folks. I apologize.
And marveling at the 30-point victory.
Yeah, did you marvel at the low turnout as well?
To give the fake.
Did you marvel at the fact that even after being president for 4 years, he only managed to drum up 5,000 more supporters than Ted Cruz had?
News much consideration on Monday night. So I'm a little late to find out that they had the audacity, the nerve, the arrogance to deny their viewers access to President Trump when he's making the most important speech, really, so far of the political.
Why? Why would they assume it's important? It's the fucking Iowa caucuses. Get the fuck over yourselves.
Season of the year, certainly.
It's just starting. It's it is 2024. The election is this year. It is not the most important speech of the year, unless it's his last, maybe.
He won Iowa. He's
so did Ted Cruz. What the fuck?
in first place by 30 points.
Yeah, in the lowest turnout they've had in 22 years.
Let the man speak. Why
Nobody stopped
Why not listen to him? You talk about him all day long. CNN, watch what happened.
We're going to seal up the border.
Yeah, we just don't feel like airing a bunch. He's going into his stump speech again, so whatever.
Because right now we have an invasion. We have an invasion of millions and millions of people that are coming into our country. I can't imagine why they think that's a good thing.
Donald Trump declaring victory with a historically strong showing in the Iowa caucuses. If these numbers hold, the biggest victory for a non-incumbent president in the modern era for this contest. A relative.
No, not just a non-incumbent. I guess technically other people who ran unopposed got 100% of it. He ran opposed. So he had the biggest margin in somebody who was running opposed, but there were other people who didn't even have to worry about it. George H.W. Bush, after he was vice president, nailed the Iowa caucuses, just 100%, just owned it. Got like maybe there was 8 people for some rando, right? That was he got the biggest amount. This guy got the biggest amount where other people weren't running for real. Like that. Yeah, I guess it would be like 100%, 96% because 4% didn't show or something. I don't know, gave up, tapped out.
Subdued speech as these things go so far, although here he is right now under my voice. You hear him repeating his anti-immigrant rhetoric. He did take time to praise his rivals, Haley and DeSantis and Ramaswamy by name. Rather un-Trump-like to do that. Gracious, but perhaps a sign of some message discipline, at least for one night.
The most pompous guy in the world.
I'm sorry. Can you not tongue jut when you say that, you skeevy fuck? Because I'm beginning to think like pompous is your safe word.
And a hideous decision. Who are these people, right?
They're the news, and they know their audience, and their audience doesn't want to watch an unexpurgated Trump blather. Dude, most of the people in my audience can't watch it unless I'm here as like comedy training wheels for this horse shit.
Right? Why did they get into this?
To comment on the news and refer to it and tell the story of what's going on, not just... Okay, this is like asking, how come Forensics Files doesn't just put up wanted posters and just slides of evidence? Because people would get bored really fucking fast. That's why.
Sit there.
Because Trump is boring. That's why. You want to know the truth? This is a wake up, Greg. Trump is fucking boring.
Stand there in his suit and judge people.
He's not judging people. He's making an assessment that's different.
Is he a political message discipline? Let the man speak. That's what they used to do, right? Especially.
No, they didn't. They didn't used to have it on at all.
Cable news. 24/7. Let's take the speech.
Well, okay, if he wants them to take the speech entirely, then he should wait till 3 a.m.
Can't believe they did it on Monday night. I can't. But
Why? I can't believe they showed as much as they did.
You know what? I should not be surprised. MSNBC did it, and, well, they've done it before.
But our success was so incredible.
You've been listening
like never before.
to the former president announcing that
That's CNN. That's not MSNBC. But
he is running for president again, rewriting the history, most recently, of the midterm elections.
At this point in the evening, the projected winner of the Iowa caucuses has just started giving his victory speech. We will keep an eye on that as it happens. We will let you know if there's any news made in that speech, if there's anything noteworthy, something substantive and important.
You know, it's kind of tragic for our country.
It's so tragic. It is tragic. I mean, I don't know. We used to have such a great country that would just put on his speeches and just sit there and let it run.
It really is to do that. And these speeches that Donald Trump gives are actually not all that hard and not all that easy to find on YouTube.
Well, thanks for the Freudian slip, dipshit. Also, there is no fucking way that maggots, people who want to see the speech, can't find them. And also, everybody can just come here, Greg. I don't know what you're worried about. Send them my way. I'll walk them right through it. Glad to do it.
YouTube plays all kinds of games here. Big tech, shadow ban. What about that darkness, light stuff about democracy? No.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just written there a minute ago. You just read it, and it's only one of the most classic phrases about news. And since you're a fake newsman, you should have it memorized.
They're just going to turn it off.
Yeah, they're going to turn off the light, dark news night thing. Dark. Day.
It's one thing on television. It's bad, but it is just TV.
What are you? They're on TV. What are you? I'm on some people's TV. Hey, chat room. Let me know if I'm on your television set as opposed to your computer or laptop or phone or something like that. If you're watching on a smart TV, give a thumbs up or signal me in some way. Let me know if I'm on TV. I'm on TV. Come on. This is way behind. Hold on. I've got to move this down. That's one of the things. Hey, there you go. Phone. There you go. PC. Phone. Second monitor. I appreciate it. I'm glad I made it to your second monitor. Both. Okay. It's good. Okay. TV. Laptops. Stereo. I'm on your stereo. That's great. 51 inch. That's nice. So I'm glad. I hope you're appreciating the new camera. It's much clearer. It is. I gotta say, it is much clearer. Makes my apple cheeks look all shiny. Look at this. Isn't that nice? That's good. That is my real skin. Yeah. Laptop. Oh, hi. Saw you on QAF. I was amazing in that. Just saying for the record. And considering that was 20 years ago, I look pretty good. Still look pretty good. Gotta admit. Just saying. Throwing that out there. You know what I'm saying? All right. Roku. Oh, look at that. YouTube on Roku. Hey, all right. 1080p, 4K, baby. Let's do this. All right. Tablet. Okay. PC, phone, TV and phone. I got you surrounded. 72-inch TV. Look at that. I'm very impressed. PC with a 45-inch screen. That's impressive. I'm on your 13-inch. Excuse me. Yeah. 65. Oh, that's amazing. Really? Do I look like I'm in a funhouse mirror? All right. So, yeah. So for the record, I'm on TV. Greg, where the fuck are you?
What about in a courtroom?
Why would he be in a courtroom? What is this? This is news to me. So wait a minute. Trump is in a courtroom? Fuck would he be doing in a courtroom? He's got a campaign to run.
What about in a courtroom? So
yeah, what about in a courtroom? Do you guys know anything about this? I don't know.
So you know that this E. Jean Carroll person is, said probably the most awful thing you could say about somebody with absolutely no evidence, right?
Dude, she has a dress with his DNA on it.
She can't figure out the year, but she alleges that Donald Trump sexually assaulted her in 1995, 1996. And by definition, there is no evidence to back this up. None. She has zero.
Well, I guess technically speaking, it's a civil case anyway. So if he had exculpatory evidence like an alibi, that'd be pretty easy at some point, right? You'd be able to boil it down. Like, here's a good idea. How about he brings in his schedule and he can go, I could have been sexually assaulting E. Jean Carroll on the date. I was sexually assaulting this woman. I don't even know her name. I just have her. It just says 19 and the Epstein dropped her off at my house. I don't like.
She's benefited so far. I mean, this is her when she first made the allegation. This is her more recently on the right. You see, right? She can
more recently on the right.
Already smell the money. She probably already has some.
She does. She has 5 million of it. Dumb fuck. He lost already
from Reid Hoffman and who knows.
No, from Trump. From Trump already. He already paid her $5 million. He had to. This is the second time, you dumb fuck.
Who else? Donald Trump.
Trump himself. Just mention him.
Can't do this in court. Can't raise fundamental issues about her credibility.
Okay, first of all, tongue jut, knock it the fuck off. Secondly, he could have. There was already a trial. He lost.
But I can. Have you ever seen this before? She takes people on a walking tour of her. I don't know if it's a cottage or an outhouse, but it's something to see.
It's probably an outhouse. She probably takes people on a walking tour of her outhouse.
Some very distinguished mice live here. Kahneman lives in the kitchen. Taberski lives in the bedroom. This is my shed. And on that side are the books that most influenced me growing up. On the door are the lists of my dogs. Marky, Fortuna de la Spunky, Heidi, Bloody, and Hepburn. The streams and the rivers were dry. And it so horrified me that I came out and started painting the rocks blue to indicate that there was once a river here. And then after I got done painting the rocks, I just sort of walked over here and then did that tree and then did that tree and then I did this tree. And then pretty soon I'd done this whole forest.
So that's...
Yeah, clearly that... you got me. I don't know why... Why can't he show this tape in court?
Jean Carroll, and look.
So fucking what?
Sexual assault is awful. It should never happen. And
right. And your dad got you out of the charges against you.
It can happen to people from all walks of life.
Right.
But you got to remember, she has absolutely zero evidence. And let's pretend she accused you, right? What would you think after seeing that? What would you think after watching her on that Anderson Cooper video?
I would think, okay, at what time and place was I ever in that building or around that place? I would go back through the period of time over the course of 2 years, and I would start eliminating dates, the easy ones first. Where was I out of town completely? I was okay. It couldn't have been this weekend, this week, this entire week or whatever. These are the times I was home by myself. These are the only times it could have happened when nobody else was around. I didn't have work. I wasn't someplace with other people. I didn't have people with me. I was by myself. I would narrow it down to those particular times. And then through discovery, I would request a similar schedule from the other side. That's how I would do it. But see, I would do it that way because I would be innocent. That's what I would do. If somebody said that about me, I would just go through that breakdown. And I would go, okay, ballpark, when does she say this would happen? Okay, this is, we'll see if this lines up when I was even in the vicinity at all. Then I would go, okay, I was in the vicinity, I was in town that time, but on that evening I was doing stand-up, or I was here, or it happened. She says it happened during the day, and all during the days on this thing I was working or shooting or doing something like that, or at night I was away, or I was with. Yeah, I also in this storyline he would presumably have a wife, and that's another aspect of it that should give him some level of cover. I was home with my wife that night. That would give you a bunch of times some sort of schedule, especially, by the way, if you run a business that's supposedly as big and important as Trump's is. Like, I couldn't have been there. I was at a meeting about Trump steaks. They're the finest steaks in the world, but for some reason we were having to cut our losses and fire everyone, right? That's how you would do it. That is how you would do it.
Or interview where she said rape is sexy. What would you think?
I would say what someone believes fictionally does not give me, in terms of fiction or in terms of even their own personal kink. If they think it's sexy in terms of the fantasy of it, that's not a green light. Somebody says that on television as a character or in an essay or anything does not give me the right to go, oh, well, I'll just fucking go kick in her door. I got to be honest. Personally, that would be evidence of why I wouldn't be sexually involved with a person like that. That's how I would handle it. I would go, yeah, I find sexual assault gross. I find that kind of aggression gross. It doesn't work for me. I'm more of a, Cokes or Casanova type. It's all that 80s hair metal about being your backdoor man. It's about sneaking around and you really want me more than the guy that you have. That kind of stuff. That's what I think if I was going to edge up, that would be my main window that I lived in for most of my life. The idea of overpowering a woman who doesn't want me is just ridiculous. But then maybe that's because, unlike Trump, I'm a true narcissist, and he's got narcissistic personality disorder. He actually hates his own reflection, and and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm cute. This will work. I got to keep working out. I don't want to be a disappointment. You want to stay in good shape. But I got to be honest. If I was in Trump's physical condition from the 90s on, it would be really hard for me to fuck anybody. I wouldn't do that to a woman. No way. I gotta go. I gotta fix this shit. This is wrong. I'm not gonna lay this shit on top of well, that's not right. Women deserve better, especially if I'm attracted to her. So I gotta go do some goddamn sit-ups. This is just rude.
You'd probably agree, and maybe you would say exactly what President Trump said.
No, I wouldn't. I would not say anything close to what he fucking said. I would only talk about exculpatory evidence because I didn't do it. I wouldn't have to shit talk the person. I wouldn't have to degrade her, I mean, because if somebody said that about me, they would be one of two people. They would be somebody they were either insane, in which case they're mentally ill, and that's pitiable and not like something you would have judgment over in that regard. It's beyond judgment. It's a mental illness. Or they're attempting to pull something over on you, and you go, okay, well, this is easy. Let's just go through what actually happened. Yeah, right. Good point. In chat room, in Trump's case, one of the reasons why he might not have an alibi is because he was actually with Jeffrey Epstein.
My lawyer said, sir, you don't have to do it. I actually said, I think I should. It would be respectful. They said, sir, don't do it. This is a fake story, and you don't want to give it credibility. That's why I didn't go.
One thing you did do in this.
And I swear, and I've never done that, and I swear to, I have no idea who the hell, she's a whack job.
Can anybody look at that video and write, this is a big country, 300 million people. To find somebody to come forward and make a crazy allegation, I don't think it's all that hard.
Right, but it's also not all that hard to start nailing down when you're famous or well-known where you were and what you were doing during periods, that it could have happened, and start operating on that. Like, look, I don't know if she's mistaken me for somebody else or if she just has a grudge against me and this is, an attack of some sort. I'm not going to even get into her personality. I'm simply going to explain to people that I couldn't have been there when she says it happened. And if she doesn't know exactly when it happened, the ballpark area, I will show the jury or whoever that I was someplace else because I wasn't there. That's how you do it. I don't even have to get into her character. I don't even have to get into who she is. Doesn't matter. And the only issue you would have is if where you were actually, like, if you weren't guilty of that, where you actually were was worse, like on Little St. James Island.
But some really dangerous things are happening, and this is happening right now.
Right. It didn't have to. He lost. He could have put it behind him. We wouldn't have heard about this shit ever again. Meanwhile, this motherfucker did it over again. He's back in court. This is the second time he's going to have to pay her. It's going to be $10 or $15 million. She got $5 the first time. If he'd have just let it go and stopped defaming her and said, he could have even honestly said it didn't happen without shitting on her and calling her a whack job or a liar. And if he could have just said that didn't happen. We went through that, and it was an unfortunate thing in the jury, but it did not happen. I will stand by that. That is my truth, and I wish I could prove that in a criminal court of law, but we didn't go through that, so therefore the rules of evidence are different. That's it. That's all. I'm not going to talk about it again because I don't do that, and that's not what I'm about. And then you just move on from there. But this motherfucker just doubled down, and again and again, and in the most grotesque way that makes him look even more guilty because he's fucking stupid.
Donald Trump was in court here in New York City today, confronting his accuser, but he really can't confront her because
he already lost the case because he didn't show up the first time, and his lawyers suck, and he's stupid, and he had no evidence to contradict what she was saying?
Well, he is hemmed in by pretty onerous restrictions.
You mean the restriction of already having lost?
Let's go through some of them, please.
Okay, number one, he already lost.
Right here, it lays it all out. It has been determined already that Mr. Trump did sexually assault Ms. Carroll, that he knew when he made the statements about Ms. Carroll that they were false, that he made them with reckless disregard.
Right. Yeah, because this is the second fucking trial.
That's from Judge Kaplan.
No, it's Judge Kaplan explaining to the jury the fact that they're not redoing the trial. He already lost. He kept slandering her. You fucking moron.
His mind is made up.
No, the court's mind is made up. This happened before he was even on this fucking case.
I don't think he's being fair, and he seems to be very hostile. Next, please. In fact, that Mr. Trump sexually abused, indeed raped Ms. Carroll, has been conclusively established and is binding in this court.
Right. And does this dumb... I'm serious. Does this dumb motherfucker not know that this is the second trial? This is about him continuing his bullshit. And by the way, after his first defense was, I was saying this as president, I could shit on her all I want because it was my duty as president to defend myself. And so I was able to just say whatever the fuck I want, treat her like she was a terrorist, that's trying to destroy our country. So I can shit talk her all I want. And it's well within my job as the president. That's what he was arguing, which he lost. It's not true. You can't do that. Meanwhile, this motherfucker, and he lost the primary one under that idea. Not that he didn't say it, but that he was slandering her, but he had the right to do it because the president can slander anybody he wants, which is fucking bananas. Now we're back because as a private citizen, since he left office, he's been doing this shit.
Now, here's the thing. Here's where the whole damn system, like Al Pacino said, is screwed up.
This better be good. Greg, you're disappointing all of us.
There's no evidence. There's none. This is what rigged justice looks like. This is horrific, folks. He's a man who cannot, at this point, profess his innocence. Take a look at this. According to the judge's
because he already lost
rulings, Trump cannot claim he did not rape Carroll, nor can he deny that he sexually assaulted her, or question her motives, or claim she was lying.
Right, because they've already been through this part. He could have. His lawyers were supposed to. That's why they already... Jesus Christ. Here's the thing. I got to be completely honest. Never mind the fact that Greg is gross and would fucking gargle Trump's balls in a second. But I actually think this is him just being fucking stupid. You know what I mean? I don't think... There are people who manipulate, like Tucker Carlson and others, even Glenn Beck, will manipulate some of the truth that they know to try and paint a rosier picture of Trump or pick up. I actually think this dumbass doesn't know any better. Doesn't make him a good person. Doesn't let him off the hook. But I think he's just dumb. This is just dumb. It's weird.
If you have a law degree and you're not outraged by this,
then you went to a good school, I guess, right?
The whole system, the whole legal system is out to get this person and could easily be out to get you and me.
They already got him. He lost that court case.
Me and a person who does not have the means of President Trump or
or that's guilty. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that you or me who are innocent, technically speaking, I am, of something like that. If I was confronted with this is how I would handle it. I would just start, again, paring my schedule down to when it was possible that we could have had this exchange. And then I would slowly but surely work down to the impossibility of me being with her at the same place. That's that. Yeah.
Fallback option of possibly becoming the president of the United States.
He already was. He's in deep shit because he thinks he can attack her.
Legal community actually thinks this is fine. The legal community, at least the one you see on TV.
You mean the people who went to law school and know the law and go, yeah, this is about damages. the material aspects of this case have already been decided.
A lot of lawyers out there, you're being way too quiet. I know you know this is wrong.
No, you don't, tongue jut. Jesus Christ.
But maybe you're afraid of losing clients, drawing too much attention to yourself.
Or yes, you'll lose clients because your clients will go, wait a minute, hold on. You don't even know that you'd have to appeal something to get my money back if I was found culpable in these situations? You're that fucking stupid? You're fired. Like, you should lose clients if your clients are aware that you don't know the law.
So these are the people who carry the day.
This is a very experienced federal judge, a very tough federal judge, and Donald Trump had better not cross those lines.
Judge Kaplan has been on the bench for a long time, since 1994. He has good courtroom control, and that means he doesn't tolerate nonsense in his courtroom.
Which is, technically speaking, Trump's entire defense.
This, though, is a Judge Lewis Kaplan. A lot of people say judges are no nonsense. He truly is. He runs a very tight courtroom, and we'll see what more he does about this if Trump does continue to attend the court hearings.
The media, totally useless, huh? You know,
Yes. Yeah. If you're including yourself, I guess, Greg, what purpose do you serve? I mean, other than being the little dog that bounces around the bulldog in the old Warner Brothers cartoon.
So Donald Trump is in that courtroom.
Uh-huh. Which he's allowed to be there.
And he can't profess his innocence.
Wait, no. First of all, he's already lost that argument. Secondly, the problem wasn't him professing his innocence. The problem was him hitting the table like a fucking toddler in a courtroom while a witness was being asked questions by his fucking attorney and talking so loud the jury could hear him, which is, again, against the rules of the court. It serves as testimony. When you talk to if you speak to your attorneys, you have to whisper or you have to request, I guess a recess so you can speak to them, on your own, or if they need to speak in chambers to the judge about something, you can have a conference with them in the hallway and that kind of stuff. But you can't just go, it's bullshit, bullshit. You can't. They'll make you leave. We couldn't have courts if that was allowed.
That's how screwed up this whole thing is.
No, it's not screwed up at all. Why do you think this motherfucker should have the right to just go, bullshit? No, I didn't. She's a liar. She's a liar. Jury, she's a liar. These people can't be allowed. This can't be allowed. I won't allow it. Like, get it the fuck off.
You know what's fascinating? This is like...
Yes, your complete disregard for reality. Your absolute squirrel-brained attempt at understanding even the base facts in this.
I guess the penalty phase. They're actually just trying to figure out how much money.
Right. Now he fucking finally gets to it.
E. Jean Carroll gets. All right.
For the second time.
Even convicted murderers, the worst of the worst, serial killers can get up in court during the penalty phase and still say they're innocent.
Yeah, but they can't just start talking while other people, okay, you want to talk about a direct parallel here. During the penalty phase where a serial killer is being tried, when the victims' families come up and explain to the jury why this person should get the fucking chair or be sent away forever or never get parole, these family members get to sit up there and say, this happened to me and this is how it affected our family and it was terrible and stuff. They don't allow these motherfuckers to just go, bullshit, you were glad she was dead. You wanted her to die. Like, they're not allowed to profess their innocence after that point. They lost anyways, and it wouldn't matter. Like, the jury won't take that into account. The jury already found you fucking guilty. They know you're guilty. Ugh, it's just fucking, this is, honest to God, I gotta say, this is fucking dumb.
What I can tell you is, I didn't kill anybody. What I can tell you is, I didn't stalk anybody. And what I can tell you is, I didn't dispose of any corpse. I didn't do it. I'm innocent, Judge.
All right, first of all, before they pass sentence, before the judge makes their ruling about the sentence, oftentimes offenders are allowed to say, make a final statement to the judge when they get a sentence. This is the jury deciding how much money you're going to pay. It's not the fucking same thing. God damn, he's stupid.
Mourn with all of you who mourn, my children. Jesus Christ knows the truth of what happened here. Jesus Christ knows
that you killed your kids.
That no one was murdered in this case.
That judge isn't freaking out. That judge.
Oh my fucking God. Dude, it's a criminal trial. They get to say one last thing to the judge before they get sentenced. That's it. They don't get to interrupt people who are, oh God, making victim impact statements. What are you fucking talking about?
The judge isn't threatening the defendant. People are allowed to say things in court.
In turn. And again, they're being sentenced. This is, by the way, the only thing that matters when you're in a murder trial, especially when you make your statement to the court, is if you show any kind of remorse, you admit what you did, and therefore the judge might give you a slightly lighter sentence. And some people just hold on to they want to bullshit people that they didn't do it, or in fact, they didn't do it and they're trying to profess their innocence, and they stick to that storyline. That's it. You pick two people who are actually guilty of murder who are lying.
That they want to say from time to time, right? Especially.
No, not from time to time. A specific moment in a criminal trial right before sentence is passed.
Especially now. So Trump, how about this? During the penalty phase of, remember this guy, the South Carolina case and the lawyers and the whatever was going down on that plantation. It was pretty weird, right?
Yeah, I don't remember much about it, but sure. Why would you bring it up if you don't just say this is ostensibly from your graphics kind of a news program? Why don't you just lead in and go, this is the Murdaugh case. You'll recall he made a statement in court that was to this, just set it up. Fucking rando.
He even got to say he was innocent before they sentenced him to.
Right. There you go. There you go. The defendants get to make a final statement before they pass judgment. That's in a criminal case. At this point, I'm wondering if Greg thinks Trump couldn't have sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll because he was busy murdering someone. What the fuck?
The prison for the rest of his life.
One more thing, JJ, going back, I do want to tell you as to how close I feel to you. My wife loved you, and you are absolutely right about everything you said, but you are dead wrong about one thing, and I would never hurt Maggie, and I would never hurt Paul.
Except once.
And it is important to me that you know that.
Right. He'd already been found guilty by the jury because of a preponderance of evidence. Greg doesn't actually think they get to, I know what he's focusing on is that he gets to say he's innocent, right? They get a chance to say they're innocent. They don't get to tell the jury they're innocent, though. You don't get to that, and that would be the thing. They don't get to. The jury doesn't decide, the sentencing. The judge does in this particular in this situation, and they make this determination based on whether or not they think you are, have an awareness of the crime and your own guilt, or if you have any kind of remorse, or you could be reformed in any way. They have to factor that in, and you're allowed to try and bullshit them one last time. But you don't get to, when you say you're innocent at the end during this part of the sentence, they don't bring the jury back in and give the jury one last chance to hear you say, when you didn't get on the stand to be asked, to be a witness, which insofar I think he's going to be on Monday. He will be able to discuss, the materially where he was, I suppose. But yeah, he won't get another bite at this apple. They're just going to go through whether he said what he said. The decision about the other stuff, they don't bring the jury back in after they found you guilty and go, okay, let him say this one thing. He just wants to tell you guys without being cross-examined that he's innocent.
So it's amazing. A convicted killer gets more freedom, more rights.
No, he doesn't. He's already been found guilty. This is about the sentencing.
Than Donald Trump.
And it's a civil trial. It's defamation, dumb fuck.
You know, as they arrested him and brought him.
By the way, tell you what, Greg, there are a lot more parallels to a trial like this with the documents case. And when we go through the documents case, I got news for you. Same shit will happen. At one point, Donald Trump will be allowed right before they pass sentence to stand up after he's been found guilty and announce it. They'll go, does the defendant have anything they want to say before I pass judgment? He will get that right and that privilege. And believe you me, all the networks will carry it live if it's available on video.
Into this courtroom and that courtroom all over the country. I thought that, well, some judge would get involved and see through this crap, right? And would straighten these prosecutors out. But it hasn't happened.
That's because there's nothing to straighten out, and you're a very easily confused little man.
It looks like they're in on it. The whole system is.
Yeah, either the whole system of justice in the United States of America, every cop, every judge, every prosecutor, every AG is in on this absolute conspiracy to fuck Donald Trump, or he, it's probably that. It's probably just a giant, this is the legal equivalent of us faking the moon landing.
Is in on it. And, you know, we've seen this before throughout our history.
Have we?
America's history. Martin Luther King. We just had MLK Day the other day, right? You know, he's really grown on me over the years.
Okay, first of all, he's really grown on you over the years. Fuck off. Secondly, you're going to compare Trump to MLK? Sorry, what was MLK's day in court like when he got the death penalty? Oh, right, it was from a rando.
That whole judge people by the content of their character, not on the color of their skin. What's
that grew on you? That took a little while? That didn't immediately appeal to you? It skeeved you out? Ew. I'm supposed to what now? How the fuck do you grow into thinking that? That seems, I don't know. Maybe I've just taken that as a standard for far too fucking long in my life.
Not to love about that mantra, that philosophy.
I don't know. I don't know why it had to grow on you, Greg. You explain it to me. I don't know where you were that you had to get to being okay with it.
The woke left, they can't stand him anymore. He's become a conservative hero.
Oh, boy.
We know about the I Have a Dream speech.
Yeah, we're familiar. Yeah. I mean, we know the hits, obviously.
We know the mountaintop speech, but...
Yeah, that one, the mountaintop. That was a good one. Yeah.
Do you know about the letter? He wrote a letter from jail.
His speech gets, of course.
By the way, I was a guest of the people who dedicated that. That's when I went to Obama's inauguration. I was invited the folks that did that monument. It was nice, very nice.
Most of the attention, but it was the letter that he wrote from Birmingham jail 4 months prior. It was April of 1963, and it was in that letter. He wrote it to a bunch of clergy who had questioned whether his civil disobedience was the best way.
Yeah.
And he writes this letter to the clergymen, basically saying this is the only way. And it was in that letter that we came to know.
So the parallel Greg is making is that there should be a balanced view between Donald Trump's defamation accusations that he already lost in court. He had his day in court and he fucking lost. And then he kept violating the law afterwards. And MLK doing a civil disobedience and going to jail on purpose to show that he was on the right side of history, the right side of what the law should be. And Greg Kelly wants to parallel Trump's fucking rape allegation defamation case and parallel it with civil disobedience. It was just like pussy grabbing for America.
The phrase a threat to justice anywhere is injustice everywhere.
I got that letter right here.
Somebody printed it out for you? I know. I started reading it and I got hives, but I printed it out so I could hold it up and people would go, well, I've had this letter in my hands and I'd cradle Trump's balls in this hand gently. And so the same thing.
April 1963, 16 April. It's 14 pages long.
It's a long letter. He had a lot of time on his hand. I think he went to jail without a fucking peep.
And it's beautiful. So I went through it at the suggestion of...
You went through it? Which is the opposite of reading it. You went through it. I mean, those words, it's fucking poetry. This is just the poetry of assholes. I went through it.
A friend, and I found something very profound. All right, let's go ahead. Letter from Birmingham jail. MLK. Sometimes a law is just on its face and unjust in its application. Also this.
Agreed. That's why he did a civil disobedience and went to jail without a peep. Where is Trump offering himself up as an example? What does this have to do, by the way, with defamation laws? All right.
You have to remember, we should never forget that everything Adolf Hitler did in Germany was, quote, legal, unquote. And everything the Hungarian freedom fighters did in Hungary was illegal. Isn't that kind of...
Trump is arguing that he should have legal protections like Hitler had. And that in his estimation, she would be the equivalent of the, quote, Hungarian freedom fighters. And also the Hungarian freedom fighters were fighting the Nazis at the time because they'd been taken over. The legal part was that they had seized the government.
Fascinating, right? The powerful can rig the system.
I'm sorry, Donald Trump isn't powerful? Does that hurt to say?
To get whatever they want and to stop whatever they don't want.
Right, again, the fucking nerve of this asshole. Is this just the day when maggots are just comparing Trump to, I was about to say like great Americans, but I think we'll just settle on real human beings at this point? People who actually give a shit about other humans? These are a couple of the biggest like whiffs I've seen in a while. This is some pretty dark shit, right? Anyways, on that note, phew, we made it. You made it. I made it. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. I go through these whole things. Hey, they post those clips. That's the length of that clip. I didn't cut stuff out of context. I didn't reframe what they were saying. I didn't cut context off the top of it and make something they said sound off or whatever. Nothing. I showed you what they posted. This is an example of who they are, what their argument is in full, according to them, not me. This is not me grabbing a clip out of some longer thing. This is Greg Kelly's closing argument for why Donald Trump, the pussy grabber, is the same as MLK, and that he was sexually assaulting women as an act of civil disobedience. And Glenn Beck, on the other clip that we looked at today, arguing that police officers who within 4 minutes of being informed of a suspicious device possibly on the grounds cleared the vice president out, cleared the ground, stopped traffic, and called in the bomb squad when they discovered a pipe bomb on January 5th. And we're the ones that hate cops and soldiers and all that shit. We're the ones who shit on vets, and that's the sales pitch, motherfucker. Not me, not now, not ever happened. I'm sorry, just not gonna happen. Nope. But you guys, love you. I call her the VP now because she is now, but she was the VP elect at that time. It's an important detail. Thank you for putting that. So anyways, like, subscribe, pass the clips around, leave a comment if you would below. That also helps on any of the sites that you see this on. And if you're on Facebook, always don't forget to give us an angry emoji at some point during the show if you're a regular watcher, because that helps us. I don't know why, but they prefer hate and anger to other things. And at some point, I don't know, maybe there's a lot of reasons, but the main one might be the kidney. You know?
Here I am like an idiot.